Clark, thank you for your time. A tantalising encounter in front of us. What do you expect from this afternoon? Welcome to Reading. It's bonfire night, and what a treat we have in store for you. Come warm your hands at the fireside. We could have some fireworks this afternoon. It's Greene King IPA Championship Rugby. The top two teams in England's second tier, London Irish, take on Yorkshire Carnegie, all courtesy of a live stream on englandrugby.com and skysports.com. A warm welcome. It is a little bit cold here in Berkshire, but we have a fantastic game of rugby to look forward to this afternoon. Alongside me, Richard de Carpentier. I'm delighted to have you alongside us, lending your championship knowledge on a game which could be a really good one.
Yeah, we hope so. Two teams, both unbeaten. Yorkshire Carnegie come here with something to lose. So we hopefully have a good game on our hands.
We should do. You have a lot of championship experience with Worcester and Nottingham. Just how difficult is this league?
Yeah, it's a really tough place to play. You've got players coming up learning their trade, and you've got the older players, the old heads, who are going to show them the way. Who are kind of, some of the players have played in the Premiership, been there, done that. So it's a learning curve. So it's an exciting league to play in. Always quite a lot of points scored. So fingers crossed we get that today.
Well, no excuses out there. The weather, sunshine just breaking through. It's a billiard table out here at the Medeski. Could favour London Irish?
Yeah, it's a beautiful track and a lovely autumn day with the weather's lovely, as you mentioned. Yeah, they've been throwing it around quite a lot in the past couple of games, averaging over 35 points a game. So have Yorkshire Carnegie though, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Yorkshire run it today, maybe give them something different to think about.
Let's look at the league tables. Let's see how we get here. These two teams, as I say, unbeaten. Right at the top there, London Irish and Yorkshire Carnegie. A points difference though there, Richard.
Yeah, as you can see from the table, that Yorkshire Carnegie have conceded a few more points per game. London Irish are averaging about 11 points a game. And yeah, London Irish are on top. Yorkshire coming here with nothing to lose, to be honest. I don't think the expectations from the fans will be much. They just want to give it a go. Obviously, London Irish dropping down from the Premiership last year, retaining quite a few players. So fingers crossed it's going to be an exciting game today.
A couple of surprises on that table. Bedford are down a little bit further than they should be, and Ealing Trailfinders up.
Yeah, obviously Ealing struggled a bit last year, but they've obviously recruited well over the summer, and that 4G pitch is helping them play a lovely brand of rugby, which has put them right at the top and right in the mix. Hopefully they can dig in for the rest of the season. A bit of a shame to see Bedford down there, obviously so promising last year, did really well in the playoffs, and were unfortunate in the end. They give it a really good shot and played some really good rugby with a good group of players down there. So yeah, hopefully Bedford can pick the game up and Ealing can dig in and stay on.
Let's have a look at these two teams in action. London Irish in the first instance. They've played some really attractive rugby this season. Let's see them first and foremost against that side, Ealing Trailfinders.
Yeah, they look like they're putting the ball through their hands quite a lot. They're using dummy runners coming in front, drawing defenders in. Everyone looks comfortable on the ball, and they're just an unselfish team, which is obviously building a nice culture down here. As you can see here against, is it Ealing again? Yeah. Where they just put the ball through their hands. Everyone's comfortable on it. You got back rows, Topsy Ojo putting someone away, and just a great finish. And yeah.
We'll see a bit of highlights perhaps a little bit later from their game last weekend against London Scottish. There's one particular winger, Joe Coconasinger. He looks a handful as well, but this pack is not to be messed with.
No, 100%. They've got experience all over the pack. George Robson in the second row with Sebastian de Chavez, two big blokes going well.
This is them up at Lady Bay, Nottingham. Difficult place to go, but look at this for a try. They finished this off extremely well.
Yeah, it's a beautiful kick over the top, and obviously the bounce pass is the hardest pass to defend in the game. And they, yeah, again, unselfish play, putting someone away in the corner, not all about themselves. So it looks like they're growing a good culture.
London Irish are finding it, they're finding it easy in tough places. Championship has a lot of tough places to go and get points, and London Irish are doing it well.
Yeah, big time. They haven't been. They've been on to the men, ain't got points, and yeah, look, you have Scott Steele. He's a little live wire. He's breaking the gain line there. Yeah, again, putting people away. I think what it's important for them is just to keep themselves grounded and working really hard.
This is London Welsh. Now, London Welsh came with a particular game plan, and they stopped London Irish a little bit, and they had to change their game plan. Do you think Yorkshire Carnegie will do that to them this afternoon?
Yorkshire Carnegie, they've obviously got a big pack, and they're quite strong and driving. We'll get onto that a bit later, but London Welsh made them think, made them adapt and work on the hoof, and it's a sign of a good side being able to adapt on the pitch. Like, it's all well and good having your prep going into it, but with the leaders and players they've got involved, I think it's very impressive, their ability to adapt.
The engine room is very impressive. The additions of George Robson, Sebastian de Chavez, that's where games are won in this league.
100%. Obviously doing the hard graft, the unseen stuff, but it's two old heads there who've been around, they've seen it. George Robson, what a signing he's been. Come back from Oyonnax, so obviously he didn't fancy cashing in over in France, but he's come back over to join a team that are going really well, and he's proven his Premiership experience and his know-how is obviously, you can see just through this drive. I bet he's loving that. It's one for the forwards.
There's a man, Paul Hodgson. You know him quite well, and he's pulling the strings neatly, isn't he, behind the scenes?
Yeah, obviously everyone, well, judging from the past couple of games and the way they're putting it through the hands, Paul's obviously had a massive influence there with the skills, being the skills coach, and he's still loving it. You can see him buzzing around before the game, catching kicks and giving it one to the fans. He's a bit of a geezer, but now he's. Yeah, everyone seems comfortable on the ball and working really hard, so it's impressive to see.
Let's look at the visitors this afternoon. Yorkshire Carnegie come here, an unbeaten record. Have gone about it in slightly different ways, and I think their prop forward is their leading try scorer, and that probably tells you a little bit of tale about the way they set themselves up.
Yeah, Rob O'Donnell, he's been riding the back of balls all year. Now he's scored a couple of 50-metre / 1 metre tries. But yeah, they're not reinventing the wheel. They're big men going forward, and it's hard to stop. It's a man test. You see, if teams don't want it, they're not going to do well. They're not, as you said, they're not overcomplicating it. They're running hard, carrying hard, making people tackle them, and getting over the gain line. And it's hard to stop a team when they're getting over the gain line and creating quick ball like they do. It's a matter of time when someone's going to miss a tackle or drop off a tackle, and they're going to get through.
They've got a particularly experienced fly half in Joe Ford, and he manages to put them in the right positions in the field, and you can't underestimate that.
No, he's an old head, obviously comes from a good family of rugby players and coaches, and he's been at Sale, and he's obviously playing his trade down here now, and he's putting him down there, kicking really well. He's 85 points this season off the tee and tries, obviously, but he's controlling the game and putting these big men. They don't want to think about the game. They just want to drive the line outs and run over people. Joe's running it really well from behind the scenes, and dictating to a big pack what they have to do.
And they've got some wide men. I mean, let's not make no bones about it. If they want to play an expansive game down here at the Medeski, they've got the potential. They've got the firepower. Stevie McCall, Jonah Holmes, Seb Stegman. That's some real credentials in a back three.
Yeah, they've been there, done that, and they're all exciting players. Like we've seen obviously a couple of clips here of them just going through the middle, but I don't think Irish should underestimate their ability if they do want to switch it on and play a bit wide. Obviously, you've got the likes of what you mentioned, and you've got Alex Gray, who's been with the Sevens, who's transitioned into playing 13, and he's been doing really well in his transition, and the boys are throwing it around at the back, so fingers crossed we can, on a day like today, on the track here, what a stage for it, hopefully we can see a bit more of that.
This was their last game against Jersey. Difficult contest, but again, just able to create space. It is relatively simple, isn't it, this game of rugby, if you play it well?
Yeah, well, they make it seem simple. They win the collision. They get over the gain line, they create quick ball, and they're playing out the back there. It's lovely play. Just unselfish. You've got Ryan Burrows, who's played a lot of minutes this season for them, and you'll see him today. Watch the characteristic of that. I think if London Irish want to do well, they need to stop that man, because he's always getting over the gain line and getting balls away to people running through. He might not be on the top try scorers, but I guarantee he's up there for the chances created.
So we have the past results to have a look through, and obviously 7 wins out of 7. Not too many surprises. London Irish, they're doing starting off well and managing a good head of steam. And then there was that moment last weekend against London Scottish where everything seemed to click, and they managed to put on a bit of a cricket score.
Yeah, I think they were waiting for the coverage from the TV, I think, to turn it on. But obviously they've been ticking along nicely. Nice to start the season with 19 points to nil against a good Doncaster team, who are doing pretty well this year in themselves, and then they've turned it over against Richmond, and they've been to some tough places as well. Nottingham, tough place to go. Bedford's been a tough place to go, and they played really well against Welsh, and obviously, as you said, turned it on against Scottish last week.
Yorkshire Carnegie as well. They, under Brian Redpath, are finding their way, and obviously this afternoon it's kind of a shot to nothing. They've got to come down here and put this sort of contest. It's a lot closer, their results, as you can see on that graphic, but nevertheless they're a confident side and they'll fancy their chances this afternoon.
100%. I think winning games breeds that confidence in the team. When you get in, it's like losing. You get into a habit. When you win in games, you expect to win. All they've known this season in the championship is winning. So fingers crossed they can go about it again today. I think they need to tighten up their defence a little bit with the way that London Irish play. They don't need to give too many opportunities to them. I expect to see quite a lot of ball in hand. But on a day like today, I don't see there's any reason for a lot of run and rugby and some tries.
We'll go and talk to the two respective coaches. We spoke to them just a few minutes ago.
Clark, thank you for your time. A tantalising encounter in front of us. What do you expect from this afternoon?
Yeah, we're hugely excited about the challenge of today's game. We expect a very tough encounter. You know, Yorkshire have been playing some really good rugby over the last couple of months. They're an attacking threat. They've got a huge forward pack that can really punish you if you give them opportunities. So our expectations is it's going to be a tough day at the office.
London Irish playing some very attractive rugby at the moment. Is it a case of keeping feet on the ground?
100%. You don't get nothing this week for the way you played last week. You don't get nothing from this week that you get at the end of the year in the playoffs. So we're just working really hard each week to make our players better. They're working really hard to get better each week. And obviously the performances take care of themselves on the weekend. So we're not getting ahead of ourselves. We realise where we're at. It's still very early in the season and there's a long way to go.
Yorkshire Carnegie, a very good side. How do you beat them?
Score more points than them. Yeah, they're a good side. As I say, we're going to have to stop their forward pack and stop their attack. They're averaging close to 30 odd points a game. So Declan and the defence groups have worked really hard around understanding where we need to be strong. And then when we get our opportunities, we need to execute similar to what we have been in the last month. I think there are going to be less opportunities for us to execute, so we've got to get that right when they come along.
You've got a lot of talent in your side, but one man on the wing seems to be making waves. Joe, doing the right things at the moment.
Yeah, he's an exciting prospect, isn't he? He's 18-year-old, he's 110 kg and he's pretty quick, so he's got all the attributes you can't give him. He's going to need time, to develop tactically and technically to become a world-class winger, but he's certainly made a good start. He's got some great mentors in the backfield with Tommy Bell and James Marshall, and Topsy Ojo are really helping him develop his game. So we're delighted the way he started his career last week.
Thank you very much for your time and good luck.
Thanks very much.
Brian, thank you for joining us. Big occasion this afternoon. Top two in the championship go up against each other. Should be a good game.
Yeah, mate, most definitely. I mean, they are the top of the tree at the moment, and they've come down from the Premiership and kept majority of their players. So the facilities, the stadium, and everything, it feels like a Premiership outfit. So it's a massive challenge for us and something that we have no fear going into. We know they're a good side, and a big win last weekend for them. So yeah, great occasion for us and a great chance for us to test ourselves, against them.
You're playing some very good rugby at the moment as well, and I suppose this afternoon is a little bit nothing to lose. Is that how you're going to go about it?
Yeah, most definitely. I think we've conceded soft ones. We've had about 5 interception tries this year, where we probably tried to overplay on certain occasions. So I think today we have to be cautious, we have to be smart, but that doesn't mean we can't be ambitious as well. So we've got to be, a no fear factor, but also be respectful that if we get it wrong against the London Irish side, then we could struggle. So it's a tough game, but it's one that all the players and staff are looking forward to.
London Irish are a good side, but there are chinks in the armour. Can you exploit them?
Yeah, I'd like to think so. There's weaknesses in every team. It's just whether we can spot them at the right time, and ultimately that's the players. Myself, Jimmy and Steve, we can't necessarily do that much as a coaching staff now. It's how it is in the 80 minutes, so certainly in the 40, and then at half time if there's anything glaring we can change, we can. But ultimately the players today, it's about them enjoying the atmosphere, the great pitch, the good team we're playing against, and no fear, as you said.
Good luck this afternoon.
Thank you very much, Tom.
Well, there's two head coaches full of confidence, and let's look at the individual teams, individual setups. London Irish's team first. It's reeking of international quality. You've got an All Black there in the front row. You've got Blair Cowan as well, and someone like Fergus Mulcrone has been there and done that. Will lead that midfield. Richard, that's a really good side, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. They've retained quite a few players from when they've been relegated, which is relatively unheard of. Like quite a few players they stay, but obviously the coaching team have done well to keep some players and recruit, like the likes of Ben Franks and Sebastian Shavs and George Robson, as we mentioned before. Slotting in with Blair Cowan, who's been, he's outstanding, starting in out for Irish all the time in the Premiership, and was unfortunate to be on the losing team quite a few times. Nick Kennedy's doing a really good job of coaching, and yeah, great team.
One man to draw your attention to is number 10, James Marshall. As like all good number 10s, he's got his fingers around the marionette strings, and he's pulling the team this way and that.
Yeah, big time. He takes the game and reads the game really well, and he's putting the boys where they need to be.
Let's have a look at the Yorkshire Carnegie side, if we can. This is the team they choose. A couple of changes in the front row, but some very good players. So we've mentioned Joe Ford, we've mentioned Stevie McColl. You talked about Ryan Burrows as well. Interesting to mention Jack Wetton as well. He's the son of Gary Wetton, the former All Black. He will have a job on his hand in that engine room up against De Chavez and
Robson.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you very much indeed. There you go, George Robson.
Obviously second rows pride themselves on line-out ability, and a lot of them are quite nosy, and that's what they do in the week. They're not the quickest, they're not the showmen, but it's a big battle of brains in the second row. So Dan Sanderson has got a job on his hand with Jack Wetton, and we'll see how they get on. It's a great team. Andy Saul's obviously been around the block, been at Newcastle with Joe Ford pulling the strings at 10, and see how he steps up today on the big occasion.
Some substitutes there. London Irish boast Scott Steele and Topsy Ojo as backs replacements. Topsy Ojo has been playing for London Irish for many a year, and always nice to bring that sort of experience onto the pitch.
Yeah, he's been around the block, 252 appearances, and he's only 31, so he's still got plenty of gas in the tank. And Scott Steele's been through Leicester Academy, he's a live wire, and they've got him on a rotation system, so hopefully he brings some energy from the bench.
On the Yorkshire Carnegie bench, Max Greene and Max Wright, the other end, England under 20 last year. They will come on full of verve and full of energy, wanting to take a chance down here at the Medeski.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, Carnegie have got a good academy system running there, proved last World Cup with more players coming from Carnegie than there was any other academy, and they're in the second tier of English rugby, and they're putting players through the first team, and it's good to see. And obviously, as the championship's a mix of old and young players, Carnegie doing their bit, putting the young lads through the paces and spraying other young lads all through the Premiership.
You talk about before a game, and it's a big game. What's the last few words that go on in a changing room? What is said? Anything, or is it just each player working on their own game?
I think the last couple of things you think about, a couple of things tactically, you try and keep it down to 2 or 3 things that the coach has mentioned to you, and then you get the geeing up from the captain. He'll tell you about how important this game is, and it's a big deal. When I'm sure Yorkshire are buzzing to come out and just see what they've got and give it a go, and they're not going to hold anything back. They're all big men, and I think they'll focus on winning the collision.
This game could be the final, the playoff final. Does that come into it this early on in the season at all? Because it could be a dress rehearsal, it could be a way of finding out the way teams play.
Yeah, I think that definitely is a part of it. I think the psychology of this game is quite interesting, the way they're going into it. I don't think they'll show all their cards for obviously the playoffs is a mile away, but if Leeds could do a job, Yorkshire Carnegie could do a job on London Irish today at London Irish, that will be niggling around in their minds for the rest of the season. So a big game, big chance for them.
So here we go then. It is Greene King IPA Championship Rugby, and the Yorkshire Carnegie make their way out onto the field, led out by their captain Ryan Burrows. And as we mentioned, this ground, you couldn't really get a better track to run on and play on. And I think the weather's going to hold this afternoon, and we're going to have a good game of rugby. It is slightly cold. You do need a bonfire. Yeah. And it's a good job that it is there tonight. London Irish come out, and the home fans are in full voice this afternoon. They'll play their part this afternoon, won't they, Richard?
100%.
Home form, definitely a part of it.
Yeah, it's a big factor, and you look at the stats between teams that winning at home and winning away, and it's massive, and it shouldn't really be, but it is. A warm reception here on a cold day for London Irish, and let's hope they can turn it on today.
The mascots make their way off the pitch. Well, 2 of them stay out. The Irish Wolfhound is out there for London Irish. A few photos being taken as well.
Beautiful looking dog. Yeah, London Irish look fully pumped up for it. A lot of clapping hands, slapping backs and slapping bums. Let's hopefully we can see some tries today.
It's all in front of us here. Greene King IPA Championship Rugby. And a good opportunity to, as we were talking about, just these two sides will be there or thereabouts at the end of the season. Make no bones about it. And an opportunity to fire the first shot this afternoon. Joe Ford has his hands on the ball. I'm going to try and make sure I call him the right forward this afternoon. But Joe Ford has it, and we are underway. Our referee is Ian Tempest. He will be making sure that everyone does what they should do this afternoon. And he's just about ready.
This first 20 minutes is really important for Carnegie. They don't want to come here and ship any early tries. The way that it works, if you ship a couple of early tries in the first 20 minutes, you'll be chasing the game. So let's see how they play. Trevor
Arnott with the catch, and Brendan McKibben makes a good kick up the right-hand touchline. A good box kick. Brendan McKibben, his hand on the tiller this afternoon, Richard. It's a good scrum half and will manage things ever so well this afternoon.
Yeah, 100%. He's an exciting player, and he's an old head as well. He knows how to put the players where they need to be. And a good box kick, great exit from them, and let's see what Leeds do, see if Yorkshire do, see if they drive this.
Big afternoon for Mike Mayhew, former man down here at London Irish, knows this ground, knows this club, and up and under crossfield kick by Joe Ford, and Ben Ransom is in the right position. He kicks downfield, and the ball makes its way into the 22. It's Ford who'll return the favour. Another good towering kick, nothing to do about that. Tommy Bell can only watch it sail over his head.
And Blair Cowan just welcomed Joe Ford to the Medeski there with a good shot, as all sevens should, letting his 10 know that he's there for him and he's going to be here all day.
You don't leave a telephone number, you just say I'll be back and I'll see you later on in the game. Blair Cowan in real form for London Irish at the moment. This is George Ellis. He will look to hit his jumpers at the line out. One of those is Robson, and he's at the front of the line out, does a job. McKibben again takes to the air. The sun is shining down on our side of the stadium, almost difficult to see. Holmes grabs it, McColl sweeps it across to the other wing, and here go Yorkshire Carnegie. They will try it on this afternoon. Brian Redpath talking before the game about how he's got nothing to lose down here, and he's got men going backwards, and one of those men is Joe Marshall, who's been playing very well for London Irish of late. Last weekend had a really good game, marshalling, if I can use that word, the troops very, very well. You excuse the pun.
Yeah. I hope that's one of the few you haven't got written down today.
I haven't got that one written down. Actually, that just came off the top of my head.
Oh, well.
There you go.
Yeah.
Obviously in the mood for it this afternoon. This is a good position for Yorkshire Carnegie.
Yeah, I'd expect to see the drive here.
If they can get the ball down. The first part of the plan is correct, and there is that wedge. And
they've set it up nicely. The way the body angles are at the front, Irish are doing a really good job, and they hope not to spin off.
So difficult to control it, isn't it? They'll go one way, then the other, and they'll come back. The ball is just about making its way towards the back. Ian Tempest has got his hand out, and he's given a penalty.
I think that plays. This is exactly what Irish didn't want to do. Get into an arm wrestle up front with a big dominant pack who've been doing this to teams for the first 7 games of the season with really good effect. Oh, they've taken the shot.
There we go.
There we go. Obviously, I know absolutely nothing.
Shot at goal, and without too much hesitation, there is a tee on the field, and Joe Ford is eyeing up the posts. The sun comes out and beats down on us. It's
nice.
It's actually a nice afternoon.
Yeah, 100%. Giving us a bit of warmth in the cold. I'm actually quite surprised that they're going for the points this early on, but maybe keep the scoreboard ticking over. They know after they get this points, they get a kick off, and I'm sure that'll go deep again. So should be quiet for this kick.
Joe Ford with 2 tries in his last 2 games, but his usual form off the tee, it's been very good. Yeah, he's eyeing this one up.
85 points so far this season.
Hush falls around the Medeski. From the right side as a right-footed kicker. The home side crowd getting on his back because of the amount of time he's taken.
He's taking his time, but it's worth it.
It is worth it. 3 points to the good through the boot of Joe Ford. Carnegie are in front.
Taking the full allocation there. Let's see if they can get a good exit from this.
It will be Marshall who'll restart. A number of different options here. And as you say, it will be down to Yorkshire Carnegie. There's no point scoring points if you can't handle the kick-off.
Interesting to see there how Irish had split their options. So they had Trevor Aines on the left, Blair Cowan down the middle chasing the kick. Maybe they're looking to win it back or split the options for Leeds, maybe to stop a drive.
There is the exit kick from Joe Ford. He's not ever so happy with it, but it clears its way just up to in between the 10-metre line and the 22.
It's very clever from London Irish there, putting it down the middle, a long kick for Blair Cowan to chase, and if he can't get it, then it creates a tough option because it makes the kick good 10-15 metres even longer. And now they've got a good attacking platform here down in Yorkshire Carnegie's half.
Ellis will hit De Chavez at the top. Cowan peels off and then pings the ball into the midfield, and the rather large frame of Ofisa Trevoranis tries to get a wriggle on. Ellis, good back row forward, almost playing at number 2 this afternoon. And Robson is into the action as well for London Irish. Back the other way they come. Marshall, ball on the floor, but Ransom will try and tidy it up. This boy cuts a rug better than most people. Got really nice footwork as Ben Ransom. Ellis holds onto the ball and is taken down. Can he present it? He can. McKibbin into Coman. Coman, this New Zealander, doing a really good job for London Irish in the back row. Former Edinburgh back row. Tikaratuma clears that one up, and then it's out the back of the hand, and it's Tom Court, the Ireland international, man who played British and Irish Lions rugby. And the ball goes out to the right-hand side, brought back inside by Fergus Mulcrone. Mulcrone is still going. Super carry, super hands. That's a really good try for Ben Ransom.
A lovely try. It's just a demonstration of what we spoke about before the match, of everyone being comfortable on the ball. Fergus Mulcrone making a lovely line break there, with Blair Cowan doing what all good sevens should do and supporting past the ball. He's created that try. Fergus has carried over the gate line. Blair, nice ball back inside, and unselfish, ungreedy work. Here's the carry, big handoff. See you later.
He'd be disappointed with that, won't he? But as you say, super work from Blair Cowan, the softest of hands from Ben Ransom, and Ben Ransom knew exactly what was going to happen before it even happened.
Yeah, he's off his wing, he's looking for work. Fergus Mulcrone, great carry, good communication. You see all the Irish players streaming through, and Ben Ransom, thank you very much. He's on the score sheet. Early doors, great response from Irish, and it all came from that kick-off down the middle.
Tommy Bell has been metronomic this season. Former Leicester Tigers man, former Wasps man, of course a former Leeds man as well. Yeah. Played at Yorkshire Carnegie for a season. Now in London Irish colours and enjoying himself.
Yeah, he was slotting the ball lovely in the warm-ups. I'd be surprised to see him take a couple of shots today.
Joe Ford has the ball back in his hands. Quick chat with Ian Tempest. I think this is the way this game might go. Backwards and forwards. It'll be about who blinks first. Ball lifted up into the sky, and it's Trevor Arness who's underneath it, and Trevor Arness takes off.
It's a great carry.
He's a strong lad, does really well.
He's made it a bit hard for McKibbin there by putting it. He's just gone outside the 22, so McKibbin loses the ability to put it straight out.
But it's well taken by Leeds. His man's not held, so he goes again. Leeds will perhaps look to play this ball. They do, and it's a good kick, but Marshall's done well. No, yeah, it is Marshall. Marshall's done well. A little chip over the top. Marshall feels this might be on.
Oh, he's taking it on the volley.
Interesting.
Alex Davis been using quite a lot of skill there.
Opportunity there from Alex Davis, but that's a super kick from London Irish. And they win that battle.
Educated right boot. He's just put it over the winger's head. He's come up into the line, and he's got themselves in good position. That
was a gamble from Alex Davis, wasn't it, to take that on the volley?
100%. Like, I've got it in the locker, but I'm not sure loads of other lads have. But yeah, you don't see that very often. Taking it on the volley, putting it back over, but maybe keep that one in the locker, keep that one for training.
This is a great position again for London Irish to exert some pressure on this Mike Mayhew line-out. They go towards the back, but they don't get it. McKibbin will get his dustpan and brush out and hand it to the man of the moment. That's Joe Cockanasinga.
That's as good as a try for a second row, a turnover at a line-out. He'll be happy with that, telling his missus about it.
Trevor Arness makes ground when perhaps he shouldn't do. Ellis is on hand as well. McKibbin goes digging. He pulls the ball out. Bell playing first receiver. Lovely hands again from Blair Cowan. Off this boot from Tommy Bell. Doesn't quite work. Ben Ransom doesn't mind. He'll chase those. And again, London Irish, they do have some rapier sharp opportunities in attack, don't they?
Yeah, they're doing really. You can see, I think it might be a theme of this game. They're getting through the winning the collision and getting their hands free, looking for the offloads. Blair Cowan there running a short line and seeing two players are on him and popping it back. Not a bad option. Make Yorkshire Carnegie exit from here. Bit of pressure on the line out again, see if he can get in his head after turning the last one over.
The drums are beating. Oh, it's just about held by Yorkshire Carnegie. They pour through. It's Wetnu tidies it up, managed to grab that from out wide. London Irish smell something here. They crash through, try to spoil it. They're slowing it down, making it difficult for Alex Davis to kick. He doesn't quite make touch. Ransom says, yes, please, we'll run this. Tommy Bell says, give it to the man out on the right-hand side. This is Joe Kokonasinger, and you can feel that the Reading crowd get on their feet when he gets on the ball. Such is his potential. Into Franks. Franks carries well. Back again, Tommy Bell playing first receiver. It's a good option to have. Ellis super hands. Oh, that's really good from Blair Cowan, who gets his helmet taken off him, as it were. Into the midfield again, Marshall. Quick ball from London Irish. Again, they survive well, they do well off this quick ball. McKibbin doesn't do as well as he perhaps could have done there. Robson out the back. And this is Mulcrone. Mulcrone again sees a bit of space, kicks the ball deep. McCall is scampering back. Will this bounce for him? I think it will do. It will certainly bounce into the try-scoring area, which means it's a 22.
That's unfortunate. I think they just ran out of ideas, and I think George Robson, instead of taking it up, doing what your second row should do, he's just chucked a bit of a nothing pass out the back to Fergus Mulcrone, it's the right option. He's just got unlucky with the bounce.
You got to play the game as it is. London Irish have stolen that well tidied up by Leeds, who show good hands of their own.
Slick.
And this is Peter Lecoq, who's turned Marshall. Marshall has to scurry back towards his own try line. Marshall trying to find a bit of space. He only finds Ollie Steadman. Ford takes to the air. Sun is preventing. Oh, and almost Stevie McCall threw on the ball.
Oh, there was an option out on the right there. If we see that again, there was an option to play. There was a 5-on-1 on the right hand side, and they're screaming for it. If they'd worked a tiny bit harder to get back, it might have been on. But as they have, they've kicked it down there.
Well, a kick is only as good as its defensive follow, and London Irish are into the Yorkshire Carnegie 22. And Joe Ford is going to clear his lines, or is he? Is it going to go? No.
It's not made touch. There's an opportunity.
Stays in again. Marshall. Tommy Bell has to check his run to catch it. Ransom comes back on the cut through, but Tommy Bell is through. Tommy Bell up against the Yorkshire Carnegie defence. More good hands. Ransom in possession now. They can smell blood, I think. London Irish, they've got numbers on the outside. Can they make it work? Oh, no.
Stick to line-outs. He's had a nightmare.
George Robson drops the ball, but again, London Irish showing all the quality that they have in promise.
It's good play there. Tommy Bell spotted two forwards in front of him. He's got Andy Saul in a prop. And as he's gone through the line, they've created quick ruck ball here. Who's that first on the ball? One man sealing the ruck and a quick play away. It's just unfortunate. One of those passes. You catch that 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he might take a little bit of ribbing later on, as long as London Irish win this game.
Yeah.
But it is playing out the way we thought. Certainly London Irish have the ascendancy at the moment, but they can't be too complacent with this Yorkshire Carnegie side.
No, definitely not underestimate them. You can hear the words of Brian Redpath echoing round in the Leeds heads. You can actually see it as they're playing. They're not taking too many risks. There's a lot of kicking going on. I think they kind of need to get the ball a bit off the field a bit more when they are exiting from inside their own 22.
I was going to say the half-back partnership of Joe Ford and Alex Davis also just needed to communicate a little bit more and know exactly which each other is doing, just to make sure that it's running right. But they've got to play defensively here. They go down at the scrum.
Reset scrum.
We love a reset scrum in commentary.
Can't beat it.
It's Ian Tempest who's in charge. Premiership referee, knows his way around these sorts of occasions. And effectively, of course, you know, many people refer to these two teams at the top of the championship as the 13th and 14th best side in the league. And if the Premiership had been expanded, it would be perhaps these two that would be looking to join the party. But they sit in the Championship at the moment, outside the main Premiership, looking in, desperate to get themselves there.
Big scrum here. Irish exerting a lot of pressure on Yorkshire. This needs to get this ball in and out.
Good scrummage. They're holding it at the moment. Round it comes. Davis has to be quick. Cowan is over the top of the ball like any good seven.
He's always a threat, especially that close. If the scrum half picks that close to the scrum, and Blair puts Blair Cowan and any other seven in contention to have a go at the ball.
He's over it again. Look at him doing the work.
And he's got the penalty there. I think that's a bit of a bad exit from Yorkshire Carnegie. They've just got to clear their lines there. They don't want to be picking and going, especially be picking and going twice into one of the best people over the ball in this league.
Exactly, that's what I'm going to say. Against that type of practitioner, you have to play the percentage game.
I think that's an example of playing smart. They've picked and gone twice into Blair Cowan, who's a Scotland international. He's not messing around. He's lightning over the ball, and that's 3 points for him. Hopefully, if Tommy Bell keeps his head down and kicks this one.
Well, I hope you haven't put the kibosh on him.
Nah, I back him.
Tommy Bell, as I said, a former Leicester Tigers man, scored a fair amount of points in a short amount of time with them, and back up against his former side.
Yeah, Tommy Bell created this whole opportunity with the line break earlier on.
He has 90 points to his name, 91 points to his name already now this season. Tommy Bell's CV continues to grow, and Yorkshire Carnegie will have to build again. And immediately you can see the way, look at London Irish are set up in pods. They are ready, they're well set up, well drilled, and ready for any option that the Yorkshire side bring with them.
Yeah, they've got 4 pods spread across the field, so there's nowhere that Joe Ford can kick without a pod. Oh no, he struck it again. Yeah, a pod being up. I think I might have gone back. No, knock on.
De Chavez, more bad hands from the second row contingency. Won a little bit of afters as well from De Chavez.
I think he's rattled a bit there.
He's annoyed.
Yeah, that was Jack Wetton getting into him, giving him a bit of a.
Jack Wetton and Dan Sanderson in the second row for Yorkshire Carnegie. We'll be having a scrum here and have a look at these two front rows. Oodles of experience from London Irish, but Charlie Beach and Mike Mayhew and Mike Cusack, the two changes that happened in the Yorkshire Carnegie side for this game happened in the front row. Lewis Boyce and Rob O'Donnell. Rob O'Donnell, somebody you know very well, and very happy to be scoring all the tries he is at the moment.
Yeah, he's can't take the smile off his face. He texts me every week. He scores. Every time I check a match report, he's on the end of a driving maul or a pick and go or something. It's just kind of testament to the way that Carnegie are playing this year.
He scored 4 tries against Bedford Blues. I can't remember the last time a prop forward scored 4 tries.
No, I don't know. He's I think he's surprising himself. Hopefully Carnegie haven't got anything in his contract about tries. So they won't be buying anyone for the end of next year, I tell you that.
Well, the front rows, Charlie Beach, Mike Mayhew and Mike Cusack go up against Tom Court, George Ellis and Ben Franks in the London Irish ranks.
Yeah, there's a wealth of experience in the London Irish front row. We've got Mike Cusack, who's just signed, he's come from Glasgow. He's collapsed.
Penalty very quickly given by Ian Tempest, and potentially another chance. A little bit of, don't bother me, mate, leave it. And back they go.
He wasn't happy with that, was he?
The home side crowd.
Now they're taking the option to put it in the corner.
And interesting.
Let's see what this drive's got to say.
Joe Ford will nudge it. He'll do his part. 5 metres out. And I'm not sure whether the backs have got to move to run, but I don't think they'll be using it.
I don't know. I think Andy Forsyth will be getting a bit cold out there. They can light the cigarettes and sort of practice braiding each other's hair.
Oh, it's lost off the top. That's crucial for London Irish. Really good defensive work at the line-out.
the second one in 20 minutes for Robson.
McKibbin lifts the ball into the air. Oh, good take. But penalty or for offside.
No, the man in front of the ball, just a bit of gamesmanship, but he was a bit too obvious with that one. He's just stood in front of him, not allowed the chasers to get in front of him.
Let's have a look at this line out. Let's have a look at where it went wrong, because this was crucial for Yorkshire Carnegie.
You got Robson. He's been there, done that. He knows whose the options are. He's done his homework in the week. He's been watching all their clips. He's been watching hours of line-out footage, and that's a win for. Oh, done well to keep that in.
Really good take to keep the ball in. Stevie McCall with his siege gun boot.
It's a good kick back as well.
He's kicked the ball all of 60 metres there. Stevie McCall's the sort of chap that you want kicking fireworks up this evening. You get him a long way up. Ooh. It's gone out on the full. It looked like a knock-on from here, but it's gone out. So this will be Yorkshire Carnegie ball. This is, look at the way that he keeps this in field. It's Stegman out on the left-hand side. Does super clever little bit.
Used all his work that he's done in the gym there with his core, leaning over the line to keep it in play.
That's why I go into the gym every week.
Yeah,
just in case that happens. Leaning out.
You've got the core of 1,000 apples.
Carnegie a better line out, and they will form the wedge. And I think it's Mayhew who's got his hands on the tiller at the back of this. They'll ask the question of the London Irish defence. And they seem equal to it at the moment. Davis with a box kick.
Let's put it up high, giving Stegman a chance to take.
Oh, what a take from Seb Stegman. Really good from the former London Welsh player. The ball has run through though. No, it hasn't. The referee will take it back.
Stegman's done all the hard work there. It's the ones you don't give. He's through the tackle, but he's being held and swung around. It's so hard to get an offload away. You see on this replay. It's a great chase. He's got his eyes on the ball the whole time. It's such a difficult skill to run and catch the ball on the full.
He takes it out of Kokinasinga's grasp there.
As he's being spun around, the ball's just come loose.
So we'll have a scrum. Alex Davis just chatting to Ian Tempest there. Always talking these scrum halves. You can't shut him up.
I know. He's doing the schmoozing. He's trying to get him on side, see if they can get a penalty this scrum.
More hard work for the pack to do. They're quite evenly matched, these two packs. They really are. It is an arm wrestle this afternoon. It ripples like a waterbed before McKibbin is happy to put the ball in. Trevor Arness breaks off the side.
Interesting to see the London Irish are actually striking that ball. A lot of teams are taking, just rolling the ball down the channel and keeping the hooker with his feet on the floor there. And instead of losing a foot, oh, he's knocked it on again. And instead of losing a foot, they've got everyone in.
We'll play this one. Certainly Marshall will do. He'll run it back. He spotted a bit of a gap, spotted a bit of a mismatch. Here goes Kokinasinga.
He's got the ball
good hands. Away. Marshall, super. There's a little bit of space here for London Irish, but the game has stopped, I think. They'll bring it back.
The whistle's gone.
Oh, these referees, they spoil our fun, don't they?
Let the boys play. It's an old school chat, isn't it?
Mike Coman was racing towards the try line.
Yeah, even though they didn't score there, just demonstration of the nice offloading ability of everyone in the team. See McCall coming back down the short side there and spotting that the props have got up from what is a tough graft in that front row for those boys. And the last thing they want is a wiry 10 like Marshall coming back down the short side and trying to pick them off in defence.
It's about mismatches, a game like this afternoon finding, having your eyes up, not just sticking to the game plan, but also being able to adjust to what's in front of you and see what's around. Those sort of magical moments are what it's all about. This is RFU Championship Rugby, Greene King IPA Championship Rugby, courtesy of EnglandRugby.com and SkySports.com. I hope you're enjoying our coverage. We hope to bring you a few more of these as the season progresses.
Blair Cowan doing well there, getting the ball back, making it a nice easy ball.
McKibbin into Marshall, Marshall into Kokinasinga. Kokinasinga bursts through the door. McKibbin back in. Good defence by Yorkshire Carnegie. That's what they need to do, get the line speed up, stop this London Irish threat. That's Tom Court trying to make the ball available. McKibbin does so, but just about gets the ball away. Tikaratuma, that step and go, characteristic. Bell out the side of the hands. Cockanasinga one-handed to Tikaratuma. Tikaratuma will say thank you very much indeed, and that is London Irish's second try of the afternoon.
It's a good try. It's what we dreaded when we were talking about before, Tikaratuma to Cockanasinga. they've combined and given us a tongue twister, but it's a hell of a try. They're coming, breaking down the right hand side. Cockanasinga's got through the tackle and got his arms free, and it's Tommy Bell, doesn't really need it, but out the back door, one for the highlights video. And the big man on the wing, 110 kilos, 6'4". It's hard for a winger to keep an eye on a second row who's running that quick.
The ball is like a ping pong ball in his hand. He just chucks it around. And of course, Aseli Tikaratuma, all that Super Rugby experience, all that Premiership experience, he knows exactly what to do. And London Irish look in control of this game at the moment.
Yeah, if Carnegie can't stop London Irish getting through a tackle and getting the offloads away, they're going to be in a bit of trouble here. They need to batten down the hatches. It's 15, potentially 17 points in the first 25 minutes. They need to kind of stay in this game.
Tommy Bell all the way out the right-hand touchline. But as I've already mentioned, he is Dead-Eye Joe this season. Strikes the ball so well.
It's a great strike.
Cleared the post by about 30 yards there. He's got plenty in the locker. Well, you're an England Sevens player, Joe Cockanasinga. Would you fancy him running it yet?
Yeah, well, I'd
One-on-one?
I'd put him into someone a bit faster than me. I'd soften off and let him try not to get embarrassed.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. Fair enough. You've avoided that question then.
Yeah, thanks very much. Political. You know, I've been watching a bit of Donald Trump. I know what else.
Oh, okay.
Cockanasinga, you can see that his old man's Fijian, and he's just carrying the ball like one of the Fijians there, chucking the one-handed offload, no dramas.
London Irish gather that restart pretty well, and forward they go again. These home fans are starting to smile. It's starting to grow a little bit larger on their face. It's bonfire night. They'll warm the cockles. Brendan McKibben goes high. Stevie McCall comes forward, takes it well. But Yorkshire Carnegie need to they need to get the ball. They need to get phases now. They need to have a period of play where London Irish don't have it and find their own rhythm. I think this is Burrows who comes forward.
Oh, he's lost
the ball. They try and make amends, but all of a sudden, London Irish say, yeah, we'll have another go. Trevoranis onto Ellis.
Oof.
Ellis, rambunctious, stays on his feet, and this is really good.
Oh, no.
An interception. It was what they wanted. A little bit of Jonah Holmes on an interception is exactly what Yorkshire Carnegie would have needed right now just to get themselves back into this game. I was talking about phases, but that'll do, won't it? An interception.
100%. They put it right back in the game here. Turnover ball is the toughest ball to defend off because you're all over the place. You're attacking. You've got the Llandovery man, Gerard Ellis, he's bumped off a tackle. His eyes have lit up. He's thinking, right, I'm going to throw the miss pass here. He needs to kind of keep it a bit simpler. And tuck it up the jumper if you need to. Oh, no.
Jonah Holmes will have those for tea every night of the week. He loves an interception. And that is, as I say, the tonic that Yorkshire Carnegie would have wanted right now. Back on the post, back on the scoreboard. Through the post it goes from Joe Ford. And we're back. We're talking about it, but this was a swing back and an opportunity for Yorkshire Carnegie, and they took it.
Yeah, obviously it was an uncharacteristic drop in the middle by Ryan Burrows, but it kind of worked out quite well for them. And back within 7. We'll see if they can kick on. Irish kicking it down the middle again. See if Blair Cowan can get up for this.
James Marshall does the honours. Carnegie just about get a hold of it.
Good take from Dan Sanderson in the air.
Davis will shout orders to Ford. Ford will say, we'll kick it down the middle. Just slices a little bit. Marshall is in the deep. He'll run it. He's trying to find a hole in the fence. Skirts sideways, and that's good from Yorkshire Carnegie. They kept their line well, kept their shape well, and left him nowhere to go. Tikaratuma out to Bell. Bell again trying his luck, trying his shoulder at the door, and they pile through. Into the midfield again. Franks is on hand.
It's a good shot.
Out wide again. Marshall to the floor. Crone will tidy it up.
It's good defence from Leeds. They're pushing them back. This start phase of play started just behind the halfway, and they pushed them back to their 10 metres now. Irish needs to I think they're setting up for a box kick, get it down there.
And they do just that. And it's Stevie McCall who'll grab it. And all of a sudden he starts his outboard motor. Stevie McCall is away. He's a big man, but he can step. He needs support. The switch was on, but it's fallen into the hands of London Irish. Fisa Trevoranis thought he was away, but there's a little knock on there from London Irish. He was all on his own there, Stevie McCall. He needed one more player, and it could have been a score.
That's the difference in between the scores for Irish at the start and the scores for Yorkshire Carnegie. When Irish have been making the breaks, they've had 2 or 3 men on the shoulders with the first try. You see Blair Cowan was on the shoulder, and then Ben Ransom. Stephen McCall's all on his own. He's too quick for everyone. He's stopped doing all the speed work.
This is better though from the visitors. Brian Redpath will be a little bit happier as this second half has progressed, and they can just get a foothold. I'm right though about phases, aren't they? They need to hold on to the ball and make London Irish work a little bit harder. This game is so difficult without the ball.
I think whatever was said behind the post at the last time they conceded, they looked a little bit of a different outfit. They've come and they've kicked down the middle, and they've forced Irish to attack, not giving them an easy read or an easy gain line, not that they would anyway, but they pushed them back 10 metres, forced them to exit again, and then a little bit of inexperience from Big Joe on the wing, who's, as he's come up, he's jumped past the ball, and it's an easy one for McCall to get through the gap and pick the gaps off when he's counter-attacking coming onto the ball.
We'll have another scrum. Ian Tempest will pull the boys back together again. And this is a good position, middle of the park, both sides an option. We'll see what their attacking intent is off the back of the scrum. Of course, if they win the ball, I'm assuming they are in the modern day. Scrum's won by the side putting it in, but sometimes it happens with a strike against the head. Ian Tempest will make sure they're all in the right position though. Yeah. So much instruction given by the referee, isn't there, at modern scrums?
Yeah, obviously it's the player safety is paramount, so the referees are trying to keep everyone safe. And sometimes when they do collapse, and that it does get a bit tedious for the fan, but the refs are just trying to keep everyone safe, because you never know what could happen in there.
Free kick to London Irish. Early push, was that?
I think a bit too keen from Yorkshire. After that interception try, maybe a bit of blood pumping through the veins, and the front row boys trying to stamp their authority down as the Irish crowd get behind them. I think they're going to bang this one up and out for a big chase from the lads.
The drums thumping the home side forward.
Ben Ransom's underneath.
Ransom almost got hold of that spilt ball. McCall sweeps it up, but that's a good net gain as far as London Irish are concerned.
Yeah, 100%. They'll be happy with that. It's a daunting prospect for anyone. A full forward pack running at you when the ball's been put up into the stratosphere by Tommy Bell. Hopefully we can get the ball out the back of this scrum for see what Irish can produce. A bit of magic. We've got James Marshall at 10.
Yeah, he is a man who has a few tricks up his sleeve, and certainly has the firepower outside him to exploit that.
Nothing better than a bit of firepower.
Firepower, yeah, absolutely.
Fergus Mulcrone at 12, the big lad. He's just sat a bit deeper. I wouldn't be surprised to see Ticker Atuma coming on short line and Fergus out the back.
Let's see what happens here. McKibben will feed this scrum. It goes down. It's a penalty to Yorkshire Carnegie. Look at the reaction from the players there. That was quite an important scrum.
I think so, yeah. I think they're a bit annoyed at themselves after the last scrum when they've gone a bit early. And a lot of whooping and hollering. The boys are happy with themselves and giving themselves a good opportunity now. Was it a full penalty from that scrum?
It was.
So they're going to put it down there, and then they got a chance to get that driving line up.
There was a moment in the Premiership recently where a referee asked players to not applaud good moments of defence. That was a scrummage, and I know some people have a bugbear about people coming in and applauding scrummages, but it's crucial for the home side, or the sort of say that the side that's won the penalty, it's crucial for them to feel something good off the penalty.
100%, they've done a good job, and I don't think it's wrong for the boys to get excited. I mean, the backs get loads of opportunity to chuck the ball around. The forwards are getting their heads down and getting down and dirty in rucks and mauls. Not a lot of fun, so when you do get a penalty, celebrate it.
Sanderson does well off the top of the line out, and they build the wedge, and here go Yorkshire Carnegie. Just trying to get it set, just trying to get it right. It's Mike Cusack, who has his hands on the back there.
They're through the middle here. Let's see what happens.
London Irish trying to scramble, trying to make it work.
It's good defence.
Cusack goes the other way, goes high, but there's Blair Cowan again trying to make it difficult for the visitors.
They've run into Blair Coward and Trevor Annis. There's two players you do not want to run into. Trevor Annis, I think he's eats bricks for breakfast. He's a big bloke and he's hard.
Keep it short through Mike Mayhew. Out it goes this time. Burrows, he spins out of the tackle very well.
Gets over the gain line so well, Burrows.
Davis, drop goal from Ford. It flies a little bit like a dead duck, but goes left of the posts. It perhaps shows a little bit of an insight into the mentality of Yorkshire Carnegie at the moment.
Yeah, I
don't feel they're getting much change from London Irish.
I don't think there's much of a breeze. So I think maybe they're just trying to get back in there. 17-13. Give them something to go in with at half-time. 9 minutes left in this half. Bit of a dead duck, that one, as you said. Bit of ugly kick. I'm sure he's struck better ones in his career.
James Marshall goes deep, but Stevie McCall has a smell in his nose that he recognises and takes it up.
He's looked dangerous every time they kick to him.
Back into the infield, back into the outfield they come. London Irish doing well, good defensive work again. They slow the ball down well, and they just make it difficult for Carnegie out wide. Now all of a sudden there's a bit of space, almost a mismatch there for Andy Forsyth.
Leeds do what Leeds do well all season, pick and go through the middle of the ruck. I'm sure that London Irish will have
a kick, an odd one because it comes off almost the side of the boot.
The inside spiral.
And we've got Marshall will clear up. I'm still a bit confused as to what that kick was there.
I think inside spiral, so he's used the inside of his boot to hit it to create the ball to torpedo almost,
right.
But I think he's just hit it badly. I think he should.
Okay.
I think he was aiming for the corners or something.
Okay, because it looked as though they just kicked the ball away, and I thought that was good ball for Yorkshire Carnegie. But there you go.
Well, they're doing what they've done all season, as we were talking about in the pre-match. They're picking and going through the middle of the rucks, not reinventing the wheel. Yeah, I think that was supposed to go into the corner, but he's just come off a bit.
Ellis into Ransom. Ransom will jive his way through. Trevor Honest clears up.
He's got some moves, that kid. I'm sure he breaks them out on a Saturday night.
Tommy Bell pokes the ball through. It comes off McCall. London Irish trying to get hold of it. They thought that was something there. Might have broken to one of them. McCall unlucky there. It was a clever kick from Tommy Bell. It was difficult to deal with. Sort of charged at him a little bit.
Very testing, keeping it low, because if they put a couple of high ones up for him and he's done really well, they kept that one low at his feet and they've tested out his touch and they found out that he's a good runner, he's good in the air, but maybe he's not such a good footballer.
Line out coming. Mike Mayhew, former London Irish man, will feed this line out. Mike Mayhew playing with Richard, his brother, again. Did at the Falcons, and he's back at Yorkshire Carnegie playing fraternally. Penalty coming from Ian Tempest to the away side.
That's unfortunate that the ball's gone over the back and Blair Cowan's dived on it. It's about who can put their face on the ball quicker. And Blair Cowan's won that test, and then his mates, who are obviously lifting in the lineouts, haven't been quick enough to clear him out. It's key with bravery. When the ball's on the floor, you've just got to put your face on it. Get as close to the ball as you can, and Blair's good at that. Luckily, he's not looking after his good looks. He's recently married, so I think he's quite happy. Settled down, he can afford to have a few more scars.
Lovely flowing locks, Blair Cowan. I saw him before. He's got a lovely set of hair. Does he look after that? Does he get the old Timotei out?
Yeah, he's got. I think he's trying to work for a deal with Pantene. So at the moment, he's got a special brush called the Ferticoli.
There are other shampoos available, I must stress.
Yeah.
Yorkshire Carnegie form the wedge again. Good line out. Good opportunity this. At the back again. They'll roll it forward. It's Cusack again. He's got his hands on the ball. Here goes Davis. Davis opens it up forward. Ball on the floor again.
McCall scooped that up lovely. He's really hard skilled when he's running at that speed to be able to scoop the ball up.
Davis again. Ford with a kick. He's gone all the way out.
He might want to retire the inside spiral. That wasn't his best option, I think.
The ball bounces ever so close to us. You're almost in there, Richard. You're almost on the field there.
Luckily, I've got my wires on me. Otherwise, I'd have been down there.
Not good from Joe Ford. He's just lost his way. That drop kick seems to have sort of shaken him a little bit.
After that drop kick, he's had two bad strikes, which is just uncharacteristic for any forward. But Joe, yeah, he'd be disappointed with that. Irish doing really well to defend the Yorkshire Carnegie drive at the moment. I'm sure George Skivington's quite happy with himself.
George Skivington in charge of forwards here at London Irish. Or was that Declan Danaher? My mistake. I don't want to. No, it's Declan Danaher's defence coach here. I did get it right. There you go. Trust your gut instinct on that.
Two big blokes. I won't want to mess them around.
McKibbin out the back. Marshall, London Irish, or a little dab through from Ransom. And guess who's on it? Joe. Big Joe almost gathering it, but not quite.
That's very clever play from Ransom there. He saw the pass was cut off, so he just put it on the foot. He's taken a hit for his mates and put it on the toe to the big Joe on the wing, who's rapid. He's put his foot down, and he's unfortunate not to pick that one up, because that would have been try time. I don't think anyone's stopping him when he's at full tilt.
They can strike, they can hit you from anywhere, London Irish, and all of a sudden there was down the short side, and Ransom, as you say, clever footballer, man, formerly with Saracens, and of course spent a lot of time in this league with Bedford Blues as well. Ben Ransom knows his way around the rugby pitch, and looking to do his level best for London Irish at the moment. Yeah,
he's lightning. He's got his purple boots on, and they seem to be working well for him. When you've got boots like that, you've got to be able to pull them off, so you've got to be pretty good.
Right, I see what you mean. I think, right, yeah, I get you.
I think you'd be black. You'd have black.
I don't have any boots.
Black ankle boots.
I haven't got any boots.
No, joking.
So a scrum goes down. Ian Tempest will have another word with front rows here.
They're messing around here, trying to buy themselves. Clean your boots, get a bit of a blow in, think about what you have for tea.
It's everyone else's fault at the scrum, isn't it?
Second rows are pushing me down, so I'm sorry.
Ian Tempest, a final precursory look to make sure everyone's in place. This has got to be right from Yorkshire Carnegie. Davis and his pack have to get this right. There we go. That's an easy way to win a scrum, get a free kick.
There we are.
Early engagement again. Both these packs pretty keen.
And that's half time. I think Yorkshire will be quite happy to call it a day there after they were under the pump for a lot of that half. The only kind of opportunities they had came off that intercept and really a couple of shots at goal. Well,
certainly the rugby has been played by London Irish this afternoon. They have scored some really good scores, some really good tries. Yorkshire Carnegie let back into it, and at the moment I think we've got a real opportunity to see what happens in the second half as far as the league table. One of these sides is going to lose this afternoon, and one of these sides, of course, is going to have their unbeaten record broken. The half-time score here at the Medeski Stadium is London Irish 17, Yorkshire Carnegie 10. So let's have a look at those talking points from the first half. And on the grand scheme of things, London Irish in control at the moment.
Yeah, London Irish are playing the rugby. This is them stopping the drive. They're just splintering through it, getting through it, and a bit of ill discipline let Yorkshire into the game, coming in at the side. And then I thought they would have driven it again, but obviously they've come with a game plan.
Bob, thank you very much for taking the time to speak to us. London Irish find themselves in the second tier of English rugby for the first time in a long time.
Don't give too many options at goal, and he struck that one very well and gave Yorkshire Carnegie a lead, but it wasn't long before London Irish got their act together.
Now, Fergus Mulcrone with a big carry, Blair Cowan hunting the offload, and then Ben Ransom trying to slide in for his try. Lovely offload. It's a big handoff. He'll be disappointed with that, Joe Ford. And Blair Cowan, lovely subtle hands, showing that he's been there, done that. He could slot in on the wing if he wanted. Here's the big handoff. See you later. And then the presence and wherewithal to give it to Blair Cowan, and the ungreediness of Blair to offload it to Ben Ransom. He'll be buying him a beer later on tonight.
This is a side playing some good rugby. That was a little bit of a fumble from Sebastian de Chavez, is it? Yeah, I think it is. But this was a penalty which enabled them to just extend their lead, manage the game a little bit, and that's what London Irish did very well in this first half.
Yeah, Tommy Bell striking it well and involved in this move as well. Big Joe on the wing, getting down there, getting through tackles and throwing the ball around like it's a toy.
Joe cocking a singer.
Out the back door boogie, didn't need to do it. And then lovely, as he's going down, control of the ball. Here's the intercept for Leeds. It was all on.
You could see Jonah Holmes there. His eyes lit up as Gerald Ellis's did, as though, oh, actually, hang on a second, there's a real opportunity here. And you can see, just flings a pass just a little bit too long. And Jonah Holmes says, thank you very much indeed.
Wasn't actually that bad a pass, it's just to the wrong person. I think he's got to keep it a bit simple. When they've got the turnover, they need to work on feeding the ball and looking, identifying where the space is.
How do London Irish manage this game, or perhaps a better question is, how do Yorkshire Carnegie win this game from here?
I think Yorkshire need to keep the ball a bit more and not kick it away so aimless. A few kicks after Joe Ford missed that drop goal, a few aimless kicks down the middle, and one that's put his team under the pump by putting it straight out. So maybe control the ball a bit more, stick to their defence. If they're going to kick long, put Irish under pressure to defend. They've done really well when they have. They started on the halfway of one of the phases and then they push them all the way back to the 10 metre, forced the kick up high, Mark McCall coming onto it, straight through gaps. They need to carry on with that. And on the defensive point of view, they just need to stop giving away little cheap turnovers, because although they got the intercept on that, any other opportunity, I know that they've been. You can see throughout the season that Irish have been working on their hands, and everyone's pretty comfortable on the ball. When your hooker's throwing 15-metre passes, you're in for a bit of trouble if you get turned over and broken down the middle.
It's fascinatingly poised here at the Medeski Stadium. But a little bit earlier, I managed to catch up with the Chief Executive of London Irish, Bob Casey. Here's what he had to say on London Irish over the last 6 months and their plans for the future.
Bob, thank you very much for taking the time to speak to us. London Irish find themselves in the second tier of English rugby for the first time in a long time. What have you made of the transition, and indeed what has happened to the club over the last 6 months?
Look, it's been a very difficult period for us once we were relegated, but we undertook an independent review. We feel like we've learnt our lessons. We spoke to a lot of clubs who had been relegated previously, like Northampton, Newcastle, Harlequins, and we had a clear approach to the league. We were going to respect it, be humble, and work very, very hard, and we've done that so far.
A few years ago, Alan Robson, the CEO then of Northampton Saints, talked about a chance to strip away the fat. John Kingston went on record when Harlequins were demoted and said that it was an essential time to rebuild. Is that how you see it at London Irish?
Yeah, we do. Brendan Venter came in and he's convinced we had to go down to rebuild this club, because we're changing the culture, we're changing the behaviours of everyone associated with the club, and you have to win games to do that, because if you're losing every weekend you can't reinforce habits. So we're slowly changing the culture of the place, and everything we do is based around the bedrock of our academy. You look at our academy coaches who have now moved up, our academy players, you know, we've 10 in the senior squad, which is fantastic. So we're definitely moving in the right direction.
You are playing winning rugby at the moment. You mentioned it, a big game against Yorkshire Carnegie this afternoon. You still have to negotiate the playoffs, though. Bristol's troubles are well documented, so were London Welsh's, and many defend those, saying that the time that you get to prepare for a season in the Premiership after winning the Championship playoffs is insufficient. Are the playoffs something that you would get rid of?
Yes, they are. Yeah, you just look at Bristol right now. You know, you don't know whether you're promoted until the end of May, and it's just too late to plan the uncertainty around it. And you know, rugby is a business now, and it's not a good way to do your business.
But it is a shop window, and it is an opportunity for the Championship to play. How does the Championship improve its media presence, do you think?
That's a really good question, because the games are, you know, very entertaining. Last weekend we played Scottish. There are some, you know, good players, you know, good internationals on show. But I think as the Championship, it needs to really come together and figure out what exactly the purpose of the Championship is, and what they're trying to achieve, and where it fits in with the overall RFU plan.
You've managed to keep a number of high-profile players in your squad. How easy was that to do?
Oh, look, it was a challenge, certainly, but you know, all the people here believe in what we're trying to do. This wasn't going to be a quick fix when the new owners bought it. The club was in a very, very bad way, but we have a long-term plan which we're working to, and we believe we're on the right path, and keeping those key players was very important. You know, the Alex Lewington, the Ben Franks, and if you chat to any of them now, they're delighted they have stayed.
Perhaps one of the shrewdest bits of recruitment, you mentioned him earlier, was the addition of Brendan Venter. If you can, describe his addition to this club.
Oh, it's huge. You know, Brendan and I go a long time back, as well as Conor O'Shea, and he's a unique individual. And for where we were, he's the only man we believe who could come in and turn around the culture of this place. And you know, we have fantastic coaches, and to be led by someone like Brendan is key. He's a very unique individual, but he has a passion for the club, which is very, very important.
Can you provide an update as to where London Irish will be playing their rugby in the future?
Well, look, this season we're at Reading, we're at the Medeski, and we've been very upfront and honest with our members. We are looking at alternatives because commercially we have to move forward as a club. You see the way the Premiership is going and salaries, and we have to generate more revenue to be able to invest in the squad.
If you go back into London, it's a tough nut to crack, that London crowd. How do you expect to do it?
Well, look, there's 250,000 people in the Reading area. There's 2.5 million people in the southwest London area alone. Yes, it's a competitive area, but it's got the highest spend per capita on sports events in the whole of the UK. So it is a good market to go into. But look, it all comes down to your product, and unfortunately it is a business now. Our product is rugby, and if we get that team playing well, and like they are at the moment, we have a great chance.
And finally, this afternoon, the Championship rugby at its best should be a good an entertaining game.
Absolutely, the pitch is cracking, conditions are perfect, two teams that really want to attack, so yeah, can't wait for it.
Thank you for your time and good luck this season.
Thank you very much.
Think you're down here, I could see you before the game talking to a lot of the London Irish players. What is your opinion of London Irish in the Championship?
I think they're doing a big job bringing Brendan Venter in, just to rebuild as a squad. I think you heard him say in that interview about they deserve to be here, and they're coming down so they can win every week. We'll try and win every week, and being humble and going to tough places like away at Doncaster, away at the Mene in Cornish Pirates, in Nottingham, Lady Bay. Like, they're tough places to go, and they kind of define you as a rugby player. Like, you've got to be able to get in and grit it and work hard and learn, because you don't get the same thing playing at the Allianz Park is different to playing at the Mene. Like, a different game, you learn different opportunities, and the way the game flows is different. So.
And I think there's some interesting moments to sort of pick out, aren't there, really, as far as teams that have gone up to the Premiership from the Championship. When you look at Exeter, when you look at Harlequins, Northampton. Certainly, Northampton and Harlequins went on to win the Premiership after being down in the Championship. We all know about Exeter Chiefs' superb record after being promoted. It is possible. Bristol haven't done it correctly, but that doesn't mean that other sides can't come down to the Championship and go back up and be a better side in the Premiership.
Yeah, it's about rebuilding and learning how to win games again, educating and bringing the young lads through, and because you can't play a game with the whole team who are over like 32, 33, you need to blood the young lads, and the Championship's a great place, a great ground to bring the young players through and give them an opportunity to shine and an opportunity to learn their trade.
Well, let's have a look at the latest scores from the Championship. We have them here at the moment. We can see that Doncaster are ahead in a tight game against London Scottish. Bedford are up at Nottingham. Trailfinders, perhaps as expected, running up a good score against Rotherham. Jersey are ahead against Cornish Pirates. And Richmond, unfortunately, have a big fat donut down the bottom there. London Welsh doing a job on them at the moment. I understand Doncaster are up a little bit more. London Scottish have come back into that game. 21-6 at half-time, I understand, and they're playing the second half there. So I think that's going as planned, but some really good games in the Championship at the moment.
Yeah, I think the Championship's a great brand of rugby. They chuck the ball around, and defences aren't as well drilled and aren't as tight as they are in the Premiership, so you see a lot more high-scoring games. Ealing obviously chucking it around on the 4G down there, and doing a job against Rotherham side, who've been there or thereabouts for the last couple of seasons, like a well-drilled side. They've got John Clark, who's come in down there, and he's doing a really good job with Rotherham. Jersey obviously doing a job on Cornish Pirates at the moment, which is surprising because they've always been a force in the Championship, Cornish Pirates. So Jersey's a hard place to go, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a comeback from the Cornishmen down there.
Well, looking at those scores, I think one of the ones I suppose that most people have their eyes on is this match here, London Irish versus Yorkshire Carnegie. Is that a fair reflection, 17-10, of the game that we've seen in this first half?
I don't think so. No, I think London Irish have let a couple of chances slip through their fingers, like that one, the bounce of the ball on the last one, and the intercept does do Yorkshire a bit of favours, keeping them back in it. Because by just looking at the score, you'd say it's quite close, but to be honest, there's only really been one side in this at the moment.
The home side are in front at the moment, and it's well, the sides are just about to come out as well. We'll await them. We mentioned earlier about what Yorkshire Carnegie have to do. How do London Irish wrestle this one away and sort of sail off into the distance?
I think the words will be really positive at half-time. They'll just be speaking about doing the same things, playing, getting through the game line and getting their hands free, expressing themselves. There's not many days like today, and there won't be, that coming up, that it's going to be dry and there's going to be an opportunity to trot the ball around. So I'm sure Paul Hodgson, he loves the game, and he loves a free-flowing game. So he'll be encouraging people to express themselves. Get Big Joe on the ball. Get Ben Frank scrummaging hard and getting the ball out for the lads. They'll just be more of the same, please. And I'm sure this first 20 minutes is what they'll be talking about. They'll be trying to control the game and trying to get one more score, two more scores, and trying to put this game out of reach for Yorkshire.
Do teams in a half-time... there's a lovely question for you. How important are half-time team talks?
They are really important in the sense that if something's going badly, the coach can come in and he can tell you exactly what he thinks you should do. But it's more of a player-owned, player-led. That's what builds character, and I'm sure that's what's going on in there. The players are saying, the senior players are standing up and saying, this is what we need to do, this is what we need to do. They're meeting in their small units, the second rows and the front row and the back row, having a meeting about scrummaging and line-ups and how that aspect of the game's going, and then they'll put it all together and they'll have a big chat and say what they want to do. They'll set a game plan out for the first 10, 15, 20 minutes of this half. Because that is really key for both teams to come out started well. It's like the start of the game now. Whoever gets the next score, it's a big score for them.
Well, out come London Irish for this second half. The Medeski Stadium rings around, the drums are being thumped, and the home side are out first. They'll have to wait a little bit for Yorkshire Carnegie. But as you mentioned earlier, a lot going right for London Irish. They just need to eliminate those small little errors.
Yeah, I think, that's Bob on. They'll just be more of the same, please. Obviously, the Yorkshire backs have had their hands underneath the air dryers in the change rooms trying to warm them up. And let's see if we can have a bit more of a game. I kind of hope that Yorkshire score next. See if they can big Rob O'Donnell on the try machine.
Rob O'Donnell, the prop forward, scored 10 tries already this season. The best one of the backs can do is 4. So there you go. That tells you a little bit about where things have gone for Yorkshire Carnegie. But out they come, both sides. We'll see if there are any changes at half-time. Potentially not. I'm scanning across both halves of the field and can't see too many difference. So we shall get underway. And it is Marshall who has played a key role already in this game. He lifts the ball up into the Berkshire air, and it's Rob Burrows who goes underneath it. He takes Joe Cockanasinga with him, and Davis will...
He's on our wing this side, and he is a big man.
Coordinate things. He'll loop things up into the air. It's a good box kick. Tommy Bell dummies the quick restart. He is. We'll get a good look at him as he runs down this right-hand wing, Joe Cockanasinga. He's still so young. Still, they were keen to say, weren't they? London Irish management were talking to them before the game. You know, don't rush him. He's still work in progress.
Irish are doing well, putting academy players through, and he's one of their academy products, and I'm sure they're very proud of him, and he's got a big future ahead of him.
Stegman tidies that one up. It was slightly loose off the Yorkshire Carnegie line out. They'll want it a little bit stronger than that. Through goes Jack Wetton, this former son of an All Black. Lots of expectation there. Joe forward with a kick, goes up in the air. But the chase, it lets it bounce. There's London Irish, and Yorkshire Carnegie get hold of the ball. Do they? No, it's just knocked it on.
First by Blue, and then by Greene.
And Ian Tempest says there was a double knock on first by Blue. And so it will be Greene ball at this scrummage.
Guys, before we set, we're both on free kicks, early engage. We can do it. Okay, next one's full-on penalty either way. We can do it. There's your mark.
We can hear the referee. It's we can hear him talking now and firing instructions.
Yeah. Let's hope we can get the ball in and out of this scrum without any resets or early penalties for pushing.
Front rows are as they were in the first half. Courtney, Ellis and Franks in Greene. Beach, Mayhew and Cusack.
If you make a positive pitch with the elbow and a better find. Say more, wherever you come. Positive elbow, long bind.
Alex Davies barking orders at his forwards, talking to his flankers, making sure they're switched on, watching the big threat of Trevor Arness coming around the corner.
McKibben will feed this one. Gets the nod from Tempest.
Scrum. That's good. We like to see that. The scrum's gone down, but the ball's come out.
Blindside, Ransom kicks it through. Jonah Holmes says, I'll give this a go. It's good line speed from London Irish.
It's a good clear up of Stegman as well.
Ford tries to kick it over the top of Bell. Marshall thinks he spotted a gap. Only finds the retreating Joe Ford. Calls a mark. Just feeling each other out at the moment in this first half. As you say, it's a crucial score, the next one, and neither of these sides want to be the one to concede it.
No, and it's
a good kick from
good
Joe
kick,
Ford.
Because it was so long, it's given them a chance to get back.
Tommy Bell takes the air. Coconut Singer is chasing it. That is the number 8, Ollie Stedman. Stedman does well. Joined from Donny, previously with London Welsh and Newcastle Stedman. Got some credentials there.
Dan Sanderson getting back over the gate line, unfortunately.
I was going to say, a former teammate of your former Worcester man.
Yeah, I can't speak him up too much. He never shuts up about being a plasterer.
Well, let's see what sort of work he can do this afternoon. Stegman, not the cleverest of kick. He's just given the ball to London Irish in open field, and Tommy Bell says, yeah, let's have a go at this one.
Oof, he sat a prop down.
He's just bashed a couple of men out of the way, but he's lost the ball, is he? Yeah, I think he has. The knock on there from Tommy Bell. You don't want to give this London Irish backline a free ball like that, though, do you?
It was a bit of a loose kick from Stedman on the wing, and he's put it back into the middle. Oh, Big Joe looks like he's hobbling a bit. I don't think that's what London Irish want to see.
This was Charlie Beach being sat down. You called it. It was a prop forward. Tommy Bell running into him.
Hey, won't want to see too many replays of that.
And it's Joe Coconasinger on this right-hand touchline. He's got a physio or someone with him, one of the medical staff, just chatting to him. And he's told him to leave him alone. He's going to try it on.
Sometimes these backs just need a bit of a hug. Hug and a kiss, and they're not been involved much. They're just give him a hug and rub him up. He'll be all right.
It's very warm over in that pack, you see. This is what these backs miss, you know, the warmth.
A hug, basically.
London Irish will have to defend, but they're in Yorkshire Carnegie territory. Alex Davies has his paws on the ball.
Andy Forsyth whispering instructions out here to Stegman on the wing. Let's see if they have a little bit of a run here, or see what they do. See the London Irish bench are warming up. They got wealth of experience when they were Tops Jojo and Scott Steele. Live wire scrum half, former Leicester Academy player.
He's waiting for the ball patiently. And there's what you were talking about in the first half. It's no hook. They're trying to push their way over.
Yeah. They just exert. They're keeping that pressure in, unfortunately. And it's just about who breaks first. And the ref gives a penalty, and the forwards have a bit more hugging in the middle. It's as was mentioned yesterday by Andy Good in the commentary, you see all these scuffles nowadays and people grabbing each other, but nothing's ever going to happen. There's 20 odd cameras on the game, and it's just
It's gone are the days of the big call, the 99 call, where everyone runs in and lamps each other. You can't do it, but they do like to just let each other know that they're not very happy with what's just happened.
A bit of a push and a shove. If I could, I would. You never know.
Tommy Bell's called for the tee.
I don't know who's. Oh, he's reached all the way through and grabbed the ball. He needs to wait for his flanker to hit it with his feet or something.
I think he was getting a bit fed up, like everyone else was.
Yeah, just sitting at the back of the scrum. It's a big. Hopefully, Tommy Bell kicks this and puts them with 10 points ahead.
He's kicked pretty much every other kick this season. Oh, he's missed it just to the right-hand side. There you go. I knew I shouldn't have spoken too soon.
You jinxed.
Probably the easiest kick he's had this afternoon, Tommy Bell. And he pushes it to the right-hand side of the uprights. Yorkshire Carnegie breathe again.
Here he comes. The man mountain. I've got to big him up, he's my mate.
Rob O'Donnell is onto the field in place of Mike Cusack. He's a big lad, 6'5", Rob O'Donnell, over 20 stone. It's just the sort of man that you need to bring into this bar brawl.
Hopefully he won't trip over. He's had a knack of doing that in the past.
Has he?
Yeah, a couple of good videos. He's going to be knackered after this sprint, I'll tell you that.
Ofiso Trevoranis is going to run at him. That'll sort him out. And well taken down. Trevoranis trying to get the ball back. Yorkshire Carnegie have done well. Slow that ball down. Marshall. Good kick, but McCall comes forward, spills it. It's a free play here for London Irish. Big hit on the far side.
One out of it.
It's getting a bit tasty here at the Medeski. Marshall, Franks, New Zealander to New Zealander. George Robson doing some clear out work there. Marshall again into Ellis. Ellis does some work, crawls a little bit further than he should do. Manages to get the ball back. McKibbin into De Chavez. Sorry, Robson that is. That ball has gone all the way out.
It's good defensive pressure from Yorkshire Carnegie again. As I said in the half-time interval, if they give themselves a chance to get the line set, they're really well drilled and well structured. They've obviously looked at Irish throughout the week and seen the attacking threat, and they're doing a good job a lot of the time at stopping it when they're set, that is.
And I think that's what it's about, this game, especially at this little level, this sort of high-intensity game where so much is at stake. The opportunity to play your game plan, but then also play what is in front of you, be able to adapt. And at the moment, Yorkshire Carnegie just about living with London Irish.
They don't want to let this rolling maul pick up a head of steam. It's tough to stop once it's started, and they've done well cheating a bit, spilling around the outside and just staying in there.
All available opportunities taken by London Irish. But, Ian Tempest gives the men in blue, the visitors, Yorkshire Carnegie, a penalty.
The Men in Blue, is that a spin-off franchise? The movie.
It's a light blue, isn't it? It's a like a grey that they're playing in. I like their white and blue strip. I quite like that one. Yeah. I wish they'd be wearing that. I don't know why they're not wearing that. What makes a team change into an away strip? Is it the merchandising?
The backs pick on depending on what boots they're wearing.
I'm not sure I believe you there, Richard.
No.
But it's good to have the insight of Richard Carpentier alongside me here. But this is a good position for Yorkshire Carnegie. Yeah. This is as good as it gets for them.
This is what they've been dreaming of. Simple ball right to the front. If they can set this drive up, big Bob O'Donnell will be on the back.
Here we go. They creak it forward.
It's good. It's a good secondary.
Big great blue piano. But now they come into the backs. It's Lucock who gets the ball forward. And out it comes wide again. This is Wetton.
He's hit hard by 3 Irishmen.
Really good defence from London Irish. Burrows tries to make headway.
Irish are not taking any risks. They're doubling up on the tackles. They have 2 men in each tackle.
Out the back it goes. Ford spins the ball out to Forsyth. Forsyth trying to get around the outside, then comes back on the inside, working really hard. Andy Forsyth, the former Sale Shark man. Good line. This could be a bit of space. Super hands. Charlie Beach, can he get the ball away? Tackle to the floor. half an opportunity there for Yorkshire Carnegie. More spin passes. Steadman refrains and goes again. Carnegie got a bit of an opportunity here, haven't they? They can sense it. They're into the 22. They're making good ground up the field. There's a man injured in the midfield for Yorkshire Carnegie, but they'll play on. They go short again. Mike Mayhew repelled by this green wall that he's up against.
Good spell of pressure here.
Forward again. This is what we talked about. Need the phases. They need to hold on to the ball. Yorkshire Carnegie make London Irish work. This is Jonah Holmes, scorer of the first try for Yorkshire Carnegie in the first half. An intercept. Here it comes. There's a little bit of a fisticuffs that breaks out between Sanderson and George Robson.
Both top line-out noses.
Well, are coming together there, and I'm not sure that the referee in Tempest will ask anyone for advice on that. I'll just let it go. Let's see if we can see. Oh, it's a little bit of a. Do I know you? Do you know me? Here we go.
You've got no hair.
I think it was. Oh, there was a lot. It was a lot more complicated than that.
Yeah.
Having a go at each other, just letting each other know.
Dan Sanderson putting it about. Who'd have thought?
A bit of a break, bit of an injury. So hospitality looks on.
Accidental offside. So they've, as Yorkshire have been doing throughout the season, they've been picking and going through the middle of rucks, and then they've just got a bit over eager and gone into one of their own men. I think that's why Dan Sanderson's got a bit annoyed. He's been the one who's been gone into.
Still good position this for Yorkshire Carnegie. They need to put pressure on, and that was a good set of phases and a good opportunity to sort of take the game, as it were, for Yorkshire Carnegie.
Yeah, it was a sustained bit of pressure from Yorkshire, but it's great defence from Irish. They kept them there or thereabouts on the 22, and I'm sure they'll gain confidence from that. It's a good buzz when you keep a team out for 8 or 9 phases. I'm not sure how many phases they ran up then, but they looked well drilled and well structured. 2 people in each tackle, not many people committing to dead rucks. Good defensive set.
Well, London Irish find themselves in their 22. McKibbin will feed this scrum, and it's another one of those that stays stock still.
Instant tactic. He's just drilled it back down the short side.
Yeah, I would have thought he'd given himself a better angle, but he's only fine McColl. McColl lines it up. He drills it back to Tommy Bell. Tommy Bell spills it, but will have time to go and collect. He's in his 22. He can now find the angle, but he's hit off the wrong side of his boot, and it stays in field. Stegman inside to Joe Ford. Joe Ford will kick, and there's a bit of space out on the right-hand side there. Depends how this rugby ball bounces. It's heading into the corner. It's heading deep. It's heading long. Can they get over the line? It's a 22 dropout.
It's an unfortunate kick there. He spotted the space lovely, and he's put a good kick in. As he kicked it, the ball's just taken a bounce to the left, and unfortunate there for Joe Ford. A good strike of the ball, though.
Still, this game is evenly poised. It remains. We've played a good percentage of this second half, and it remains one score in it. London Irish 17 points to Yorkshire Carnegie's 10. Stevie McColl puts up an absolute beast of an up and under.
Great
but
take.
Talking of beasts, says Officer Trevor Arnott. He's there to gather the ball in. Marshall.
See if Irish can get this running game going.
Out wide to Tikaratuma. Tikaratuma puts his shoulder down, tries to go through the first man. They spin it wide again. This is Coleman in the action, former Edinburgh captain. Good signing that for London Irish.
That's a clever kick. They weren't going anywhere. He just drilled it down the line. Oh, he's taking it quickly.
Stevie McColl down in front of us, takes the ball ever so well. His own line out and tries to find touch. Well, there's a bit of miscommunication there between Bell and McKibbin, which allows the ball to bounce into the 22. And Bell will try and kick the ball. He'll try and find over the top of Stegman, but Stegman's in the right position.
It's tough for the forwards in this when the backs are having their kicking game. You're just doing 10, 20 metre shuttles in the middle.
It's a bit of a bleak test for them in the middle. But here come London Irish. They find Kokanasenga, but offside. You see, some of them weren't doing those shuttles.
There we are. Dan Sanderson's been caught out. He hasn't hit his line, and now he's offside. He's going to be raging out.
Oh dear. Is this in range for Tommy Bell, I wonder?
Yeah.
Certainly from his kicks earlier in the game, it looked as though it was. He is. He's going to have a go. Full 50 metres for Tommy Bell. And he's called for the tee.
I won't mind a cup of tea.
I don't think he's brought that tee on.
Right.
Oh no, there we go. That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But Tommy Bell just missed from in front of the posts a few moments ago. But I have a funny feeling this one is going to be well within his range and not far from going over.
Can we just have a big awareness on this kick chase for me? Yep, we'll do, mate.
Not the longest of run-ups, but the points machine for London Irish looking down the barrel of this one.
Percy Montgomery-esque. That's a great nudge.
Take a bow, Tommy Bell. Super penalty goal for London Irish and sneaks them in front a little bit further.
Bringing the stalwart Topsy Ojo on.
Yeah, substitutions. Also, I can see Sinitiki Nayolo has come on. And it is the man Joe Kokona-Singer who's making way. Topsy Ojo comes on to this right-hand wing. He's a young man, Kokona-Singer, makes his way from the pitch, and he's had a good afternoon. He will learn from this.
Yeah, 100%. I think he's struggling with a bit of a niggle.
Officer Trevoranis tries again. Takes it up, rambunctious style of his. Blair Cowan will chase this kick from McKibbin. Goes out, Steadman collects and takes the ball back. Well, this is a crucial time in the game. If Yorkshire Carnegie can muster something in the next few moments or so, we could have a real close to this game. But if London Irish get their way, they're kind of in a position to sort of suffocate this game, just close out, remove all the air that Yorkshire Carnegie is kind of surviving on, and walk away winners.
Yeah, I think they'd be reasonably happy with. They haven't had a lot of ball this first 20 minutes, and they've played it quite well. And they've got 3 points on the board, haven't conceded under a lot of pressure in their own 22. The first kind of proper test of their defence.
A couple of substitutions for Yorkshire Carnegie. Phil Nilsson, the incredibly experienced Yorkshire Carnegie man, is on, and also on is Max Greene at wearing 21 on his back.
Dan Sanders has milked that penalty there. Blair Cowan just got up in front of him, and as he's coming down, it made it look like he's been touched in the air, so it's obviously a touchy subject at the moment, so he's gone down, and I think he'll be giving his teammates a bit of a wink. And
Max Greene out of the Yorkshire Carnegie Academy, one of last year's Junior World Cup winners, alongside the likes of Lewis Boyce and Josh Bainbridge and Jack Walker, and Max Wright, who's on the bench as well. Such a prodigious academy Yorkshire Carnegie possess, and this boy Max Greene is a real talent, and he's just steering this pack. Now he gets the ball, feeds forward into the midfield. It's Lecoq who comes back against the tide, and he's been dispossessed.
Got his pocket pinched. I think it was Fergus Mulcrone coming across. He just said, "Yeah, I'll have that, thanks very much."
I wonder if we can see that again. It was almost trick of the light, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Comes into the midfield. Lecoq goes well there. Oh, Mulcrone has spotted it, isn't he?
Fergus Mulcrone, he's at it. He's got a younger brother. He's obviously had experience of taking the remote off him as a kid, and as he's running past, he's just pinched the ball off him. It's a lovely bit of skill.
More altercation happening out on the pitch. These two packs increasingly irksome this afternoon. Not finding each other's company on the pitch terribly enjoyable, and once again they come to blows.
I think Ollie Steadman's a bit rattled. He was
picked up on video, but that's not acceptable.
He was a bit rattled at the last line out when the touch judge didn't go 5 meters further forward, and he was having an altercation. He looks like he's lost his head a bit.
That is Steadman coming to blows with.
That's fine, mate. No problems. Is he going, or can you shoot? Okay, no problems.
He's saying he's had His bit's grabbed.
That's certainly what it looked like there. And he went across to Ian Tempest.
George Robson, he's had a bit too much time in France.
I wouldn't like to get drawn into a conversation about what the French league do that is illegal or legal.
They push it as much as they can, I think. And I didn't think George Robson was that way inclined.
Well, here we go. It's once we get a bit. I think it's Trevor Arnott who's getting a bit of a patch up. We're going to move on from that. We're not going to dwell very much there. The referee says there's nothing doing, so everyone stays on the pitch. But it's a line out, I think.
I'd like to keep an eye on Ollie Steadman and just see how he reacts the next couple of plays, because sometimes once you've lost your cool, it's really hard to get it back.
First man goes up, grabs the fruit off the top of the tree. Carnegie work this rolling maul infield.
Obviously there's a lot of stake today, and that pressure could be making
ball is out to the backs. Here comes a backs move, and good hit on Stegman from Tikaratuma.
Lined him up.
Greene finds Burrows. Greene again, goes back the other way, trying to find a bit of a hole. Pete Lookout thinks he can pin them back into their 22. He can. The ball goes out. This is interestingly poised. It's still available for Yorkshire Carnegie, and if they can put pressure on here, get a line up, get the ball back themselves, it could be difficult for London Irish. Yeah, 10 points in it.
It's kind of a free shot for Dan Sanderson and Jack Wetton to have a shot at the line out. Have a see if they can get up and spoil this line out down in their 22. They've shortened it right down to a 4-man. His arms in the air. Stedman's looked like he's lost his head again.
Ellis.
He's
finds
Robson. Just missed the ball. There we go. The easiest penalty in the book for that one. He's got up. He's got a bit too keen, and he's just knocked him in the air.
You can hear my frustration. It just because it was almost coming, and just allowing London Irish to relieve the pressure like that. It's sinful.
It's an easy out for them. It's a penalty, it's good field position all the way down, and a great catch from someone in the crowd. The crowd love it. Give the boys something to cheer about. Even the players are clapping it.
And London Irish relieved all the pressure. They come up the field. And
Scott Steele's on now, the live wire.
The boy from Dumfries, English qualified Scott Steele, but look at him. He can find a hole in any defence. Really good prospect, Scott Steele. Played a fair amount of Premiership rugby last season with London Irish. He's actually a footballer. Had trials with Kilmarnock way back when.
I saw him striking a couple of kicks before the game, and he was kicking the ball quite nicely.
Well, that's his pedigree, but rugby firmly in his mindset nowadays, and looking to take London Irish back to the Premiership. Into the midfield they come. Good miss, timed. But out to the right-hand side, Topsy Ojo. Going to say the runners in the midfield, creating a little bit of space there. Steele, Marshall, out to Tikaratuma. Missed tackle, yeah. Good feet from the big man. Fijian. They look as though they've stolen the ball. Have they, Yorkshire Carnegie?
Andy Sewell's, but then it's been stolen back because the boys hadn't got over him.
De Chavez, into the midfield. He does some good grunt work. Scott Steele out wide to lovely inside line from Topsy Ojo. Could be on here. Blair Cowan, soft hands. Really good from London Irish. Through they pour. This could put the match to bed. Ben Franks, there's a few numbers out here. One of them is Ben Ransom, looking for his second try of the game.
It's a great tackle by Forsyth. He's just held his feet and not overcommitted, and given Topsy Ojo an easy read back inside. Scott Steele, he's had a bit of the ball slowed down. Let's see what Leeds' defence is like.
Back they come. Marshall, brother of Tom, playing at Gloucester. James Marshall.
It's an easy penalty.
Slow again, but a free hit here. De Chavez, ball is out. Steele trying to tidy it up, but he'll go back and take the penalty. Are Yorkshire Carnegie just losing their heads here?
I think they're doing the hard work. Andy Forsyth did some great work to stop the pretty much certain try in the corner there. and now Irish are going to bring it down into this corner with us.
Well, this is absolute keystone work here. It's going to be crucial as they look to close this game out, London Irish. This period will be good. Well, absolutely imperative. Substitutions, looks like Richard Beck is coming on.
They've taken Ollie Steadman off, I think is maybe they pick it, maybe listen to a bit of commentary from me.
Richard Beck will do his best to spoil this for London Irish. Goes to the front, Sebastian de Chavez, the former Natal Sharkman and Leicester Tiger.
Dan Sanderson's tried to sack that at the front, and there's a bit of chaos at the front. They just need to work past that bodies. If they keep this going, it's a certain try. It's a good setup at the front.
They reset, they go again. This Greene grand piano is being pushed over the line. It comes down a little bit short. Scott Steele trying to get people out of the way. They'll release their backs. Fergus Mulcrone out wide to Marshall. Marshall to Tommy Bell. Tommy Bell must make this work. Ben Ransom in at the corner.
There was some cheating on this corner here with the driving line out to stop a certain try. So a bit of calming justice in the other corner. Great finishing, as they've done all season. Finishing the 2-on-1s, the basics done well. Pass accuracy, people not being greedy. It could have easily been a dummy, but he's done the basics well and they've got what they've deserved.
Perfect example of forward prowess and back skill. And London Irish look as though they are going to win this game.
Tommy Bell, he's an experienced campaigner and he showed all his experience there, pointing him into the corner, a good pass to put Ben Ransom on, and he's a natural finisher on the wing. He's done well, he's just done enough to hold McCall. McCall's not got a chance coming across with Ransom's pace, and Ransom bags his second in the match. A great try from Irish, well worked, and they're now the one away from the bonus point.
Yeah, will that be in their mind, do you think? I mean, obviously a win today against second in the league was their prime focus, but now all of a sudden, do they go for it or do they just try and shut the game down?
I think they won't be thinking, let's get a bonus point. They're not underestimating Yorkshire here. They're a good side and they're second in the league for a reason. This could easy swing. There's enough time left for Yorkshire to make a comeback, so I think they'll just be talking about getting the next goal, controlling the next 2-3 minutes of play. As Tommy Bell does what Tommy Bell does and strikes a lovely conversion.
Tommy Bell kicks an absolute perler from the left-hand touchline. 27 points to 10, courtesy of Tommy Bell's boot, and the try made for Ben Ransom by Tommy Bell's hands. Yorkshire Carnegie have to get back into this game. They have to strike.
Trevor Honest has been on it all day.
Yes. He's been motoring, he really has. He's fancied it this afternoon, and there's a bit of space for Nyalo. Nyalo in open pasture. Scott Steele has wheels. He can motor. He's still going strong from the almost given back to Nyalo. Really strong there from Scott Steele. He did well, didn't he?
Yeah, it's the old trick. So the ruck's set, and you've got the guy in the middle, and he looks like the ball's at the back of his foot. He's just picked it up and he's gone through the middle. Scott Steele, he's got a bit of toe. He's been doing his speed work.
This was good strength. He stayed on his feet really well here.
He's a powerful little man.
One more pass, correct. Would have been a really good score.
Yeah, he just needed to either give it a tiny bit earlier or keep hold. It's great work from
Nyalo.
Senoti Yellow. I'll leave that one to you.
Former Quins man, he's an army man. Fijian back rower, and the Fijian back rowers love open pasture. It's as if they were born to do it. Ian Tempest asks replacement scrum half Max Greene to feed this Yorkshire Carnegie scrum.
Good scrum from Yorkshire there. I think they're going to go for the penalty here. They're not interested about getting us out.
Here's penalty coming. There we go. You called it, Richard.
Yeah, they got the shunt on early doors. Rob O'Donnell and the rest of the front row getting a nice little shunt. And as I said before, it's an easy exit. It's an easy exit. After all the hard work they've done breaking down the middle of the field, they're going to be pushed back to just on the halfway.
Joe Ford clears his lines. Still just inside their own half. Just over 10 minutes or so to go in this game. And Carnegie need to find a little bit of ball. They need it back in their hands. They need to build their way up the pitch. Sanderson does well off the top of the line out. Ford pings it out wide to Forsyth. Forsyth into McCall. McCall. Ball is spilt.
Forsyth has been hit late there, well, just marginally late by Tikaratua, and he's feeling that one now.
Yeah, I could see that as it just happened. Forsyth is taking a bit of attention as well.
If you could have a look at that on the replay, just as he releases the ball, he's already committed Tikaratua, and Tikaratua just fires in and gives him a shot and let him know that if he had carried, he would have been in a bit of trouble. He sucks it up though. He's a hard man. He's from the wrong side of the penalty, but won't hold that against him.
I was going to say, originally a Carnegie Academy product, went away to Leicester Tigers, and then Sale Sharks as well.
He's got a healthy beard going on. I'm wondering if he's going to shave that into a Movember anytime soon.
Of course, one of the big rugby charities, Movember. A lot of players, a lot of people associated with the game will be growing their moustaches in aid of Movember.
Feel a bit like Chris Kamara today with my little pathetic attempt for a tash.
It's going well. Keep going.
Thanks.
Keep working on it. You concentrate in the morning for that, do you? Have to really concentrate.
Well, you know.
Ben Ransom brings it into the midfield. The ball is thrown out wide. Tommy Bell into Topsy Ojo. Topsy Ojo puts his ears back. Topsy Ojo scores. He's rolling back the years. Is Topsy Ojo? No, he's not. Oh no!
He's used up his beans. I know.
It had Topsy Ojo done. That's not fair. The old man. He's never been. Well, he hasn't been that fast for a long time.
No, that would have been his 70-something try. 70. I've got it written down there. 72nd try or something like that.
Oh, what a shame.
Oh, well, 74th. Sorry, I'll take two off.
Ian Tempest ruins everyone's party there.
I think as he threw the pass, because he was moving forward with such momentum, you see it's just this ball. He's on the halfway, and as he's chucked it, it's gone 3 or 4 yards forward. So it's a good call from the linesman on the far side, but Topsy Ojo a bit disappointing there. He's natural finisher, unfortunately, on the end of a forward pass.
Maybe he'll get another chance. Ian Tempest has them back on the halfway line though. Carnegie will fancy giving this a go. Either side of the scrum they can move from here, and it goes on the short side, comes back the other side.
They weren't keeping that one in the scrum.
Peter Lecoq mismatch, and all of a sudden he's through the gap.
Not sure who he got melted by coming across.
Yorkshire managed to get the ball to the ground. They build again. Big Dan Sanderson comes through and takes the ball on, but he's lost it. Scott Steele says, oh, we shall go to the races. Scott Steele is fast. The ball needs to bounce for him. It does bounce from him. He rises highest and takes the ball out of the air, and his mates are with him.
He's a one-man team, Scott Steele.
He does seem to be. Blair Cowan gets the ball out wide. London Irish aren't finished yet. Maybe this bonus point is there. Al-Saili Tikaratua puts his foot on the gas and brings Ben Ransom into play as well. They're into the 22. They dig the ball out again. There's players out here. Forwards will put their shoulder against the wheel. Steele swings it the same way. Marshall. Blair Cowan on the super line, back inside to James Marshall. James Marshall trying to get away from his man. That was good defence, but London Irish still have it. Ransom into the hands of Jared Ellis. Jared Ellis reaching for the line. No, not quite there.
They don't want to score.
Oh, has it been knocked on? It's been robbed, I think, by Yorkshire Carnegie.
They've butchered some opportunities there. If we can get the replay on that. As they've gone through, Blair Cowan's fed McCall. All he has to do is look inside him, and it's a 2-on-1. And for once, they haven't given it.
This is Ellis.
You've got to give that. You've got to pop that.
Oh my goodness! Tikaratua will have a word with him later.
It's white line fever there. He's seeing the line. He's thinking, I'm in here. I can tell this to the girls in the nightclub tonight. I scored today, and he's just giving it away. Scott Steele again, getting them on the front foot, a kick and a chase, all for himself.
McKibbin is a different type of player to Scott Steele, and when you can bring on that sort of 9 with 15 minutes to go, it's absolutely, it's worth its weight in gold.
100%. Irish in a great position with quality, all strength and depth throughout the board. Bringing Scott Steele on, he's fresh. Some of these Yorkshire boys would be blowing out. It's a tough place to come. The nerves, the anxiety, and Scott Steele's a little dynamo, and he's just whizzing around the pitch.
Green good. Can't be sure who's gone.
We have another reset scrum.
There's some opportunities being missed there.
Yeah, they'll.
I think they'll be frustrated, and they're lucky to have another shot here. Let's see what happens. So hopefully no scrubbing for penalties. You never know.
Phil Nilsson on at hooker. Appearance 195 for Phil Nilsson. It's a fair amount of work he's got through.
Yeah, he's a bit of a stalwart. Been around the block.
Third on the all-time list for Yorkshire Carnegie, behind the likes of Mike Shelley and Tom Palmer. There's some names for you from Yorkshire Rugby.
Good, they're playing it.
Steele into the midfield, runners going everywhere,
Yes.
and James Marshall is one of them. And James Marshall will
Risky.
score just about.
Just about. I didn't think he saw the people coming around. But there's the bonus point try, and thoroughly deserved. After they tried their best not to get it before, they've done really well to tidy it up now, and I'm sure a job well done for them, and I'm pretty sure that's the ball game.
That was a tired defence from Yorkshire Carnegie, and the amount of runners, the amount of strike runners that London Irish had. You look at it here, Marshall just has to sort of wave the ball about, and the Red Sea parts.
They're worried about the Ben Ransom's on a hat-trick. They've got Ticker Atuma coming on the short line, both really big ball carriers. Ferguson McCrone out the back, who's a handful in himself, and it just opens the gap. Tommy Bell had some more points to his tally for the day.
And it is the bonus point score.
Hopefully he's not on commission.
And I'm not sure whether or not they set out with the bonus point in mind, but they've got it, and it'll be the icing on the cake as far as London Irish are concerned. Go on.
The stats before the game were that London Irish on average concede 11 points per game, and they've conceded 10 here, and they score 33 and they've scored 34 here, so we could have predicted this. Let's say it's not all about the stats.
Well, they say it's not all about the stats, but those stats are absolutely spot on, and that is why you're alongside me, Richard de Carpentier. Absolutely spot on the money. London Irish look to pump the ball long again. Joe Ford, who has had better games this season. Good take from Stegman. Stegman's played well on in a losing cause this afternoon. And out it comes. Nilsson will play link, and he'll go again because he wasn't held. This is allowed to do. Max Greene goes big digging for the ball. Ford into the midfield.
Oh, it's lucky.
Out wide, all good hands. No, his referee's blown. Knock on, was it? And it hasn't quite worked out for Yorkshire Carnegie. It was always going to be a difficult test down here at the Medeski, but it hasn't worked out for them, and they'll feel as though perhaps they could have done better, but also, you know, sometimes you have to get the bounce of the ball.
Yeah, I think they've come here with a game plan, and they've tried to use the drive, and Irish have obviously done a lot of work this week with George Skivington on stopping the drive. It's a man test when you're in there. You can't underestimate. You've just got to get in there. There's not a lot of science about it. It's just like hitting it. I played with James Purcell. He was probably up there with the dullest players I've ever played with, but he could stop a driving line out because he just put his head where it hurts. And that's what it's about. And they've done a great job at nullifying that threat.
They have. London Irish have done their homework and done the job that they needed to do, and they've struck 4 tries as well to boot. Scott Steele having a little bit of a cameo. He feeds this back line again, and it's fizzing. Ransom, little dab inside. He thought there was a man in there, but Stegman's there to tidy up.
It's a good option from Ransom. He's running down the touchline, and he knows that there's no pass on. He's seen that already. And instead of carrying the ball into touch, he's just put it back in there, and now he's got to line up pretty much where he had the ball anyway. So it's a great outcome for Irish down that wing.
Clever play, and you wouldn't bet on Irish striking again. Making this, making the scoreboard look a little bit unfair on Yorkshire Carnegie, who have come and have played a big part this afternoon. But in this last 15 minutes or so in this game, the London Irish just showing their class. The rolling maul is temporarily stopped, but it goes again. Yeah. This is what London Irish are able to do, not only strike with their backs, but forward organisation is very strong as well.
Once they miss that initial sack of the line out, it's really tough to stop legally anyway.
Well, they brought it down, and Steele will feed this back line through Marshall. Marshall thought he saw that the door was ajar. He goes again. He's being pushed on by his teammates, and he's a foot or so short.
He's over for a second.
Oh, there we go.
They love that. The short line, the 10 on the short line. The forwards doing the backs job, the backs doing the forwards jobs. That's a great try.
It was Marshall again. My mistake was Mulcrone, I think, with the initial shove at the line, and Marshall there to finish off. And as I said, it's a little bit unfair on the scoreboard because Yorkshire Carnegie have not been a side that deserve to have 40 points put on them.
No, I think I don't know whether it was the occasion or maybe just once you get a couple of scores down, some of the players might be feeling a bit dejected, and you just drop off a couple of tackles. And Irish are a good side who will punish you, and they proved that today. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's another score in this.
James Marshall, second try of the afternoon for him, and he continues this form of his at London Irish. Eye-catching, the New Zealander, the former Hurricane, played behind Bowden Barrett. Most people in the world play behind Bowden Barrett, it has to be said. But he has the full complement of skill sets, and he's released and played this back line in, and he's got a bit of reward. 2 tries to his name already this afternoon.
Yeah, I'd say him and Ben Ransom are on for a hat-trick, both of them.
Now, maybe have to pick out a man of the match. We haven't talked about that, but there's been some really, really good performances from many people in the London Irish team. I might have to put Richard de Carpentier on the spot and get him to choose one.
How long have I got? I think.
Well, until the end of the match.
Right, there we are. There we go. That's a good touch.
Stegman does well with his feet.
Numbers here.
Jonah Holmes, can he release some of these backs? Down the right-hand side they go. Ooh, the hits come in.
They're just playing with it now. Yorkshire, they know the game's gone, and they're expressing themselves a bit more. It would have been nice to see this maybe a bit earlier on.
Walker, ball goes to the ground. London Irish are on the. They do well in defence, don't they? Sort of slow it down for Yorkshire Carnegie. Ryan Burrows, another man who's done well on the losing side this afternoon. Greene into Nilsson. Nilsson into a brick wall that is Ofisa Trevoranis.
It's a great combination they've got going there. Trevoranis putting the absolute massive hits in, and then Blair Cowan quick onto the ball. It's
a nice 1-2.
Yeah, 100%.
Ford goes in to play scrum half. Nilsson into Richard Beck, but there's not many places to go with this London Irish defence.
It's all a bit stagnant, and it's hard off slow ball when the defensive line's set. You're running into a brick wall. You need someone to do a bit of magic, create a bit of quick ball somewhere. London Irish are set, and they're not a team that's going to be broken by just generic running in one-off runners. They're going to make the tackles.
Lecoq decides to fire it out wide. Jonah Holmes thinks that he can have a go. Try scorer, the sole try scorer for Yorkshire Carnegie this afternoon, an intercept in the first half. That's Andy Saul. Ford, missed hands again, and Ian Tempest says, well, we shall have a knock on. Well, I'm going to put you on the spot, Richard de Carpentier. Your man of the match this afternoon. Who do you think it should be?
I think there's been quite a few good performances. Ben Ransom's been a live wire when he's had the ball. But for me, it's been James Marshall. He's controlled the game well. He's got himself 2 tries from running good lines and just controlling the game. He's been the difference between the 2 sides for me. Although Trevoranis has been all over the place and smashing people, I think he's been the main difference. So he's the Greene King man of the match.
I wouldn't have thought there were many people in this stadium that would disagree with you on that one. There have been some standout performances, but Marshall has had his fingers around the marionette strings, hasn't he? He's been orchestrating, and 2 tries, a little bit of icing on the cake for him. London Irish go again. There's more in it here. Ransom is flying down the left-hand touchline, but checks himself and comes back in field and keeps the ball alive. Scott Steele, he asks a question. Back into the midfield they come to London Irish. Again, they're still asking questions. It doesn't let up for Yorkshire Carnegie. It's Marshall, Mulcrone into Ford. Eventually brought down by Walker. London Irish again. Trevoranis, he's lost the ball there. Yorkshire Carnegie think it's on. Walker, one more set of hands, and Stegman could be away. Stegman well marshalled by Topsy Ojo.
He's played really well today as well.
Walker keeps the ball alive, but Max Greene has got his hands full, his face full of London Irish defenders. And London Irish are going to spoil it. Penalty coming though. Wrong side of wrong entry.
That's unfortunate for them. It's an easy. It's a weird one to give away. Normally, when there's a maul, they just and as soon as it falls over, it's a turnover. You kick it down there. It's a bit disappointing for them. There's not a lot that can be achieved in a minute and a half.
So our clock is dead on the screen that you can see. It's an approximate clock. Unfortunately, it's not married to the referee's time. So it is his time that we're playing at the moment.
I think there's a minute and a half left, he said.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Okay. So enough time for Yorkshire Carnegie to salvage something here.
You never know, at the end of the season, it could come down to points difference between 4th and 5th or 2nd and 3rd.
Got to get the points where you can, and this is a good opportunity for Yorkshire Carnegie. Penalty coming.
Nice to finish the game on a high as well.
Greene is going to release his backs. Ford out wide. Stegman plays joining receiver, and Jonah Holmes is over for his second try of the afternoon. If he can get the ball down, he does. He can. And that is consolation. It is just that for Yorkshire Carnegie. But to be fair, they have deserved it.
Yeah, I think it's more of a fair reflection. They've not been deserved to be put 5 tries against, but yeah, fair enough. They've got a try on the board. I think there's about 30 seconds left. I think Irish can kick it deep and hope to defend and wait for your mistake.
The conversion was very quickly taken, but successful. And as Ian Tempest says, we don't have a huge amount of time left in the game. The winter evening creeps in apace. The lights are on at the Medeski Stadium. Burrows, captain of this Yorkshire Carnegie side, does well. He's not held down. He's allowed to crawl a few extra paces forward. Oh, good hands from Ford. He fires the ball out beautifully. And Carnegie lost the ball. Bit of a theme of the afternoon. Whenever they've had a moment, they've lost it. But that is it. The Medeski Stadium crowd, the home fans are on their feet. They're delighted with that win. They've done really well, have London Irish. Final score 41 points to 17. And Richard de Carpentier, your thoughts on that as an overall spectacle? It's a good game, but the right side won.
Yeah, 100%. It's a good advert for the championship, and 2 good teams playing a lot of good rugby while we still can in late November, well, early November, but it's rare to see boys chucking it about. They played a game that the pitch and the stadium and everything deserved. They chucked the ball around, they were positive, and they got the 5 tries for throwing the ball around. They nullified Yorkshire's threats up front, which was a big one, what they were coming into the driving lineup. They knew what Yorkshire were going to do, and they stopped it early. So yeah, the right side won on the day, I thought.
What do Yorkshire Carnegie take away from this? How do they sort of reassess where they are?
I just think they need to go home, watch the video, regroup, and accept that they're playing a pretty much Premiership outfit, and to put 17 points on them, and on another day it could have been a lot closer. A couple of bounces of the ball for them, a couple of passes stick. You never know what could happen. So they've got to take positives where they can. There's no point beating themselves up. It's a hard place to come. I'm not telling you now that they're not going to be the only team that come here and concede 5 tries.
How good are London Irish, and can you see them being beaten this season?
It's a tough one. The championship, you never know. You can never switch off, because you switch off for 1 second and a team will turn you over. So if they carry on performing like that, then potentially no, but they just need to keep grounded, keep working hard, and keep doing the basics well, which they're doing. The catch and pass is good. They're playing in the right areas. They've got James Marshall in the game, as you said at the start. A horrible pun, but I'll use it again.
It works. There you go.
Yeah, they just need to keep on doing what they're doing.
Yeah, they do, but a really good win there, and the home fans will have liked it. We talked beforehand about the fact that the Medeski Stadium, you know, it's got to kind of everyone's got to kind of get used to winning again, and it makes the world a difference. At the bottom of the Premiership, loss after loss is a completely different story to the top of the Championship.
Yeah, it's 100%. As well as for the players as for the fans, they need to build that fan base back up. It's hard for the fans to turn up week in, week out and watch your team get pumped by 40, 50 points. And when they're turning up and they're seeing a strong Yorkshire Carnegie team be put to the sword, 5 tries at home, that's what the fans want to see. You can hear them now, they're clapping the boys in, they're happy with that, they know what a result that is. 2 unbeaten teams coming head to head, and yeah, they've learned well, they've played well, they've got a good team, going really well, strength all over the field. Robson, we didn't even talk about it, but he went off at 60 minutes, 2 turnovers in the lineouts. The first way to stop the driving lineout is to turn the lineout over before it's even happened. And he's done that. He'll be happy, he'll be having a beer or two tonight. And these boys deserve to be proud of themselves, grins on faces. And yeah.
We're going to have a look at a few of the highlights, and there were a few highlights, and from a London Irish point of view, they mixed it up very well, and they struck exceptionally well when they needed to, certainly.
Yeah, 100%. You see from these highlights, it's the support that's going. Blair Cowan, unselfish, just popping it off to Ben Ransom, making the line break. Fergus Mulcrone, there he is, powerful 12, getting through the line, and the presence of mind and the support from Ben Ransom, hunting and sniffing that try out like all good wingers should. Here he is, the bus is full. The
lovely locks flowing. As soon as Blair Cowan's locks are flowing, you know you're in trouble, don't you?
Big time.
And this was a nice little score as well, and Kokona-Singer, one for the future, offloading to Tikka Atuma. There's not a lot you can do when those two players get in full flight.
No, well, there's not a lot you can commentate on either. It's hard to say, but the Fijian coming out on him there, close to touchline, keeping the ball alive. And did you see how many plays he could have offloaded it to? Here's the backdoor pass from Tommy Bell. He's beat his first guy, he's beat the second guy, and there's 4 of them in shot, and only one Yorkshire Carnegie player. It's hard to defend against that. 4 against 1, you do the math. Here's the try at the end of the first half. It was a gift on a plate. But that's what happens when you get Okus chucking passes. He's obviously been watching Dane Coles' highlight reel, and he's tried to throw the miss too, and he's just been picked off, unfortunately.
Do you think that Leeds felt as though they were still in this at this stage?
Yeah, I think 100%.
Sorry, Yorkshire Carnegie. Apologies.
They're 7 points behind going into the break. I think they're quite happy. They know if they come out and get a penalty, 3-4 points behind, no dramas. But I think that was a blessing for them, because I'm not sure how it would have gone if they'd gone in 17-3 at the break. How tough is that to come back from mentally, knowing the side you're up against is a Premiership outfit?
This was in the second half, and again they mixed it up well. They drove at the line and then released this back line, and Ben Ransom's into for his second score.
It's the first 20 minutes of that half was pretty quiet. They did what they needed to do. They weathered the storm. There's always going to be a point in each game where the opposition team have a series of sustained pressure, and you've got Tommy Bell, who's been really good today. Kicked his goals, missed one, but kicked the rest of them, and he's drawn and passed, just done the basics well, through the hands.
Scott Steele made a real difference in the second half. He brought a little zip when he came on, and this back line doesn't need a second invitation.
No, the whiz kid came on and he did his job, and this was the one that was disallowed that you were jumping around for.
I thought Topsy Ojo was in.
Yeah, it's a tough one when you're running forward, and as he's passed it, it's from where he's passed it, that's why it's been given forward. If he'd carried on running forward, you kind of deceived the ref, but it's where the ball lands. So Topsy Ojo, good finish, but he won't rack up his 75th today. He's stuck at 74.
And you look at that, it was a little bit like a quarterback, wasn't it? It went that far forward. But this was the score, and so many runners, so many threats that James Marshall was just allowed to skate through.
Yeah, 100%. Tikka Atuma running the short line. Fergus Mulcrone, people are worried about him out of the back, and he's just held defenders, and then he's allowed the space for the 10 to come through the middle. He's made a bit of a hash of the ground in, but no, other than that, it's the only thing he did badly today.
Yeah, Marshall in, and that was really the nail in the coffin. We did have a couple more scores. Another look at this
See how
James Marshall.
just held, and Andy Forsyth, he's just in a bad place to be making that tackle, because he's in trouble. He's in trouble. He's been pardoned, but I think even if he's making the tackle, it's going to be a soak-up at best. And here, close to the line, a good pass, and he's got him running a short line. He's a jack of all trades.
What you don't see in there is the amount of work that was done just prior to that to, take tired Yorkshire Carnegie defenders in, and you expose it, and it's such a simple game, isn't it, this game of rugby?
If you see behind the post, you've got Richard Palfman. He's just pulling back the hooker, the replacement hooker, and he shoots through the line, creates the hole.
This was the consolation prize for Jonah Holmes. His brace is complete, and it was at the least that Yorkshire Carnegie deserved. They played their part this afternoon.
Yeah, I think it's a consolation score, and it might be important later on in the season, so they'll be happy for it. It's good feet, gets on the post, nearly gets his head ripped off for his troubles. But yeah, he did really well.
I think we're able to speak to Clark Laidlaw, the assistant coach of Leeds. Clark, how did that feel? It looked a pretty good afternoon's work.
Yeah, it was a good afternoon's work. It was pretty tight for long periods. I thought, Leeds forward pack gave us a hard time, but we were really happy with some of the attack we showed in that last 20 minutes. I thought with fitness and some of the skill levels were really good.
You were able to bring on someone like Scott Steele and just put the nail in the coffin. A bonus point win, that must be pretty special.
Yeah, it is. It's when you're playing the top of the table and you can get a bonus point, it's always a plus. And you're right, I thought the guys that came on, Scott Steele, really added to the performance, which we talked about at half-time with those boys.
We talked before the game about trying to keep feet on the floor. This is a big win. What happens Monday?
We've got a week off. So there's the group's actually going to break up for the week. We decided right back at the start of the year that we'd always give the players a full week off as well as the management. It's been a long haul since July. So I think there's a few players going on holiday, different venues, a few players going home to their families, so we're really looking forward to that.
Well played, Clark, and congratulations.
Thanks very much.
Well, there's a happy man, and rightfully so. London Irish did a job today.
Yeah, 100%. A job well done, and I think they'll be really happy with the way the team performed. And obviously, you can see with the motive of the week off, the boys will be happy. Have a couple of beers tonight, and then recover and see how the week off goes.
Let's have a look at the latest scores from the Championship. And look at that one. Doncaster just edging it against London Scottish, and Nottingham have come back against Bedford. These are full-time scores. Other than that, Ealing Trailfinders win, Jersey win, London Irish we know about. And look at that, Richmond 5-23. And that's a mistake on the graphic, actually. I suddenly thought, oh my goodness me, what's gone on there?
Been docked points.
There you go, there we go. We're back. Oh, thank goodness for me. I thought... The result there, Nottingham doing incredibly well, your former club at Goldington Road. Mike Rayer's men can't seem to buy a win at the moment.
No. I think that Bedford will be disappointed. You've got to win your home games. That's really important in this league, especially kind of the mid-table clashes. You've got to take your points when they're on offer, and they'll be disappointed. But all credit to a Nottingham side who've been dogging it out. There's been a bit of change there recently, so they'll be really happy with that win.
A couple of close encounters, Doncaster and Jersey both winning close home affairs, and that's a little bit of a theme. It's such a scrap in the Championship.
Yeah, it's always close. As I said, you've got to make your points, and Scottish have done well, and they're struggling a bit. And Cornish Pirates, as I said at half time, they were going to have a comeback, and they pushed Jersey close. Jersey always a tough place to go to. It feels like a proper away trip across the water, and they'll be happy to hold on to their points.
Here are some of the matches that are coming up on englandrugby.com. We've got Bedford School versus Canford in the NatWest Schools Cup Champions Trophy quarter-final. That's next Tuesday. And, of course, looking further ahead, we have the Champions Trophy semi-finals and, indeed, the Champions Trophy final at the beginning of December. Sandwiched in between those, England versus New Zealand, the Women's International, the old Mutual Wealth Series at the Stoop. Lots to come, lots of rugby feast ahead of the Christmas fair that I suppose is coming up. Well, it's been an absolute delight. Thank you so much, Richard de Carpentier, for coming along and providing your expert knowledge on the game. The Championship is in fine fettle, wouldn't you agree?
100%, yeah. You can see the points being scored all over the board. Great advert for rugby in England. So people can get down and have a watch of the games, increase the capacities at stadiums, increase the funding, be good for the game.
Well, that's about it from us here at the Medeski. Thank you for joining us on englandrugby.com. More to come, I'm sure. Thank you very much and good night.